There. So, when last we were with everybody, we were in Jake's place, a little tavern of a retired adventurer, where Mal had met a very pretty but somewhat rather spooky necromancer, which offset her attractiveness, being so scary. The
Pretty hair.
Yeah, she has nice hair. That's what he noticed. She was seemed to be enamored with Mal, and the two of them struck up a conversation. Um, Mal, but we're doing a little retro here. Things I was thinking about. I'd like you to make you choose intelligence or wisdom save.
All right. Let me pull up my character sheet real quick. Save. Mal's
Aren't
not
you
good at
blessed as
those.
aren't you
And you're
blessed as
blessed.
well?
Oh, well, that's even better. I'm gonna go with intelligence. And do I need to do the bless while I'm? Yeah, I should probably do that first.
If you want to use it for that, it's not an attack. I'm just trying to. All I'm rolling for is you were giving away a lot of details, so I'm curious how much of this details you gave away, or if you were like an open book and you told them everything after 20
Yeah,
minutes.
I don't know that. I don't know myself.
Exactly, because I heard you rattling away. I'm like, oh, he just told him about the lizard man. Oh, she just told him about.
There we go.
That's what I thought. All
Yeah.
right. So yes, at one point, now as the dome is going over the top of him, and you can still hear the two of them wrapped away in there, and Mal's just talking away, and you've heard Mal mention his last name of the family he comes from in the distant land, and he starts going into some other things. You're welcome to try to stop him from giving too many details if you want.
You see what's kind of focused on the demon right above us?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when the hooligan came out, and holy crap, what's that?
That's where we ended with her looking up there, going, "I hope the hell that thing's after all of you guys and not me." Was where I think we ended on that one.
Don't worry, we'll protect you.
Yeah. And I guess it was good a place as any to let me reset this thing. There's a way to do it. Let's see. Then initiative. So the map changed a little bit since we actually were going to do combat in this one, so I thought I'd throw some zones up. There is a new API, new to me, that allows me to do clear walls now. So there's clear walls over the windows and clear walls going up the stairs, so you have to go up the right way up the stairs, not from the,
Nice.
or they
I
can't
think I
come in from the
covered up
side.
all the windows the last time we were here.
Yeah, with your token. Oh, good, it worked.
But I'm confused. What does it do?
What it should do, if it works, maybe it should, is, oh, maybe it didn't. Let's see. It should have kept you from walking through that wall you just walked through, so maybe it doesn't work.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Well, then let's restart the API. And we'll see if it works. If not, oh well, whatever.
They really should just add this to like the baseline, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, these should be part of it. Because I've got one that turns walls to clear, which should work. All right, but anyhow, let's do the initiative.
James, can I pull Gary onto the
Oh, of course,
map?
please.
Speaking of APIs. Okay, that still works.
So it looks, oh, maybe I don't have walls restrict movement. Let's turn that on.
Let me know
Yep,
when.
that would do it. That was off. Save.
Funny. I can tell exactly when you saved it
That's how far you got. I can't get back in now.
because now it's working. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll get this thing perfect, then we'll move over to the new system.
Yeah.
I'm really close to that one, but what we're sitting on now is I'm really trying to get the internet here top notch, so I don't have lag, since we're all going to be running on my host rather than out somewhere else.
Should we have windows like over like the doors? Because I can't seem to go through the doors.
I don't know of anything on that door.
That back door, yeah, those
Oh,
should
no.
all be fine.
I would think it's probably because the damn lines don't line up with the squares.
Yeah, it's just when I don't use my arrow keys, I can actually manually drag and drop it through it. Gotcha.
Yeah, that'll let us know. Problem with having a diagonal building. Should have realigned it or something. Okay, so demon up on the top rooftop is ripping away at the ceiling. Does no one else see the? I don't see anybody else's initiative. Oh, you're way at the bottom. Okay. It's about 20 feet up. All you can see through it is a head peeking out. So it's got like half cover, we'll say, because it was about to climb through. So it's got half cover as it's looking down through the hole that it's just ripped in the ceiling. It's about medium size, but made of darkness and hair and fur and claws and evil things.
My wisp is not actually working still.
Where's your wisp at? What's it not doing?
It's the same thing actually last time where I click on the initiative button and I have to get a bunch of errors.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I was having a problem last time too. So, yep, even when I do it unselected.
I would have a clue.
Yeah. Not really sure what's causing there, unfortunately.
Right. Well, there's always one other way.
So if you can make it work and put him on the initiative, that would work for me.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Because he very rarely has to roll anything from his sheet.
Yay, that worked.
Cool. Did you use a sheet or did you use something else?
I used an M macro
Huh.
to roll init. I used a group init and a macro. I'm going to bring up the sheet, the character sheet, and roll init from there. Ooh, that's a better one. Sorry, you don't get that one. All right. So, Orden, the wizard next to you, the lady points up at the ceiling, yells at, hopes it's after you. The creature lets out a scream. You see its eyes in darkness, sort of, you think it's locking onto you with these gold, fiery eyes in the darkness staring down. And you get to go.
Orden will use a spell scroll and cast Bless on Thorin, Mal, Rakir. Base first level Bless spell. Remind me, is that 3 people or
Mal's
4?
already got blast.
3. Yep.
3. Okay. Sorry. Thorin, Rakir, and God, toss the dice. I guess it doesn't really
Yourself.
matter. No, not myself.
Well, keep on yourself is actually not bad because you use a lot of attack spells, and it also basically helps you keep Bless up if you get hit.
Yeah, the
concentration
concentration piece. I feel you. I have a feeling you guys are gonna want to keep this dome up for a minute or for maybe the duration, and I can't leave it, so I'm thinking to cast it on others.
That's totally fair.
As a player, I want to go on record and say I always thought this form of combat was super cheese, so I wouldn't be surprised if James did something to put an end to it. Otherwise,
Gave you
any
15
battle-
minutes or 30 minutes to set up. That's fine.
Well, the only reason I don't like it is that means any battle you have 10 minutes to prepare for, you can just hide in a dome, pop out
Yep.
and attack, and pop back in, and that feels dirty. Anyway,
But if you do, I will eat your soul tonight. So be careful. That guy up
If you
top
think
is no
that's-
kid.
You think that's cheesy? You should see what people do with Wall of Force.
Yes, I've read that one.
oh yeah, I know
God.
there's all sorts of stuff, but I'd feel just as squirrely about that.
There was this one time we were in a fight with a dragon, and we had to sit down and discuss for like 2.5 hours what the logistics of Wall of Force was.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, he's not going to cast it on himself. Sure he is. I can't see Orden sitting in here while a battle's taking place and not eventually dropping this thing. So I guess it'll be himself and Thorin and Rakir. Nothing with a bonus action. That'll be it.
Lamb.
Lamb's gonna say to so he looks up and sees the thing, and then he's gonna look over and say, "So do you know this guy?" To Heather.
I've dealt with them before. A bit of too many letters. If she'll say sort of, I guess is more of a better way, since it's not her turn.
He'll look up. Does he know if he can shoot through? Oh, actually, he probably doesn't know.
You guys have fought with this through the thing before. You
Okay.
used this against the necromancer and all little ghosty critters he summoned up and stuff.
Oh, that's right. All right. Well, he'll pop two shots off. Nope, no sneak attack. Armor class 19.
Well, that's probably going to hit. Yep.
20.
Both hit.
8 and 16. It's
And are these considered magical weapons?
Nope.
8 and so 16 total?
Or 15, yep.
And, all right, so the shots, both of them stab into the creature, and you can tell that it has far less effect than you thought it was going to.
Yes!
They were good hits, but they don't do much.
Do they do anything that you can tell?
Yeah. You
Okay.
think that might have killed a normal man. It barely seemed to phase this guy.
Alright. He's extra tough, guys! Oh, I
You wanna do anything else?
EOT, huh? No, sorry.
Sorry.
Where is it? There it is.
Thorin's turn.
Alright, seeing Mal shoot at it and not do much damage, Thorn's gonna pull out his longbow and pull out 2 unbreakable arrows as well, and take 2 shots with those.
Cool.
Alright, so a 20 and then a fucking 9.
The 20 hit.
Alright, so 7 damage on that first one.
Okay. Still
And that does
another arrow.
Alright.
Not much. I mean, it goes into it. It does more damage than Mouse did, but you can tell that this is quite a big beast.
Alright. At that point, the Thorn's gonna take those 2 shots and just yell out, "I hope someone has a fucking plan." And that's the end of his turn. There's no Kia Beast.
Yeah, just keeps coming.
Indestructible.
Indestructible. Makes weird noises. All right. Akaz, I guess that's the name of you've given your will-o-wisp?
Yep.
Okay.
This thing is 40 feet up. Is that correct, or 20?
It is. 20. 4 squares.
Okay, then he will basically invisible, of course, fly out of the sphere, and just irritate this thing to use the help action, and then fly back into safety. And he is done.
Okay.
I guess this brings up an interesting question that I've never thought about. Do my bugs count as magical?
I'll go with that. The bugs will themselves.
Okay.
They're like, what, a die 6 or something?
Yeah. Cool. So, I guess seeing us all attack, I will pull out 2 javelins know they don't do much, but I'm gonna mark it as my favorite enemy. Does a 16 hit?
No, not even.
All right, then never mind.
So it flies up to the air, sort of bounces off one of the wings that the bat throws in front of itself, or the gargoyle, whatever you want to call it, the block, and bounces off, clattering back down to the ground, smacking off the outside of the shield as it does. Anything else you want to try?
Nah, I don't have much in the way of bonus actions to go, so I guess that will be it. I will hit end of turn.
All right. Well, the Nabasu throws itself through the hole down at the shield, slamming off of it and sliding down into the ground about, we'll put her there. Screams in anger at that point, to which Heather just sort of looks over at it. Oh, is that Heather's token? Okay, she has an actual icon now. Let's move her. Looks over at it, sort of waves with 2 fingers at it through the shield. Looks over at you all. And it then tries to fly back up again. What is this thing's move? It lost 4 going down. And, oh, wow. And flies about another 20 feet back up towards the hole in the ceiling. Flies back up to the ceiling levels, back up where it was. So it's back up to 4, but it's right there now. It flies back up.
Is it at least inside the building still?
It is.
Okay.
It's just near the hole at the top, but it doesn't have any cover this time. It screams in rage, is looking down at you, trying to figure out what it's going to do. And that thing stops all spell effects, so you're okay from that one. You hear it just howling and screaming in rage, and it's next.
All right. So it's basically over top of the bubble then.
Yes, it is. It's straight up above the bubble. It looks like it might be leaving now.
Hey, and Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, or Saucy, or whomever, but I'm pretty sure if it has an ability that's sight-based or look-based, that would still work. It's just spells that wouldn't be able to penetrate.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was everything.
I don't think so. I think it specifically says spell effects, because you can shoot out of it. You can, I could chuck a rock outside of it. Anything that's not magical. So if he's got a thing where he comes in and he has an ability that's not a spell, that's sight-based, that would work. At least that's my understanding, unless somebody knows.
I believe that's how we worked it when we fought in the that gnome village or town, when we were fighting that
Spells.
I
Spells.
forgot what it was called.
Spells and other
Dragons- Go ahead. I'm sorry.
spells and other magical effects can extend through the dome or be cast through it.
Right, magical effects, but that wouldn't include abilities, right?
Well, a dragon breath can go through it.
If that's because they made that weird ass ruling that dragon breath is a phenomenon.
Oh, gotcha. As opposed to an ability.
Yeah, it's obviously because technically it doesn't say it's magical. So
Gotcha.
if you want to be pedantic, then you can say yes. If it doesn't specifically mention that what this creature is doing is magical, then yes, it would go through.
I'm going to say it can't. I don't think a soul gaze from a demon should be able to get through that. That sounds like a pretty big magical type effect.
That's fair.
I like the sounds of that.
Yeah. All right. So, with that gone, what are you going to do, Will-am? Will-I-am? Or Will-E-am in your case.
All right. Willem just looks around. Says, we want to flee or not? Waits for a quick response.
Lee?
Anybody? Yeah.
Thorn,
we just-
I don't think there's fleeing from this fucking creature.
I'll follow your lead.
No, if we were gonna flee, we should have done that before we set up
Yeah.
everything here.
Yeah, Thorn don't think we get away very well from it in the first place.
Oh, and that is.
Fast.
Oh, wait a minute, Thorn. Let me
You
roll
are?
back. I think you might be rolling. Let's see, 19. Nope, the second one's still. There was an advantage on that creature. I missed it, but it did make a difference. I'm gonna take it off now.
Oh no, that was from what Willie did, and that would have been applied to what Odo did. Odo did for his first attack.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that we gave him a 15 out of 16, so it wouldn't have mattered. All right then. Now this thing can actually see inside or outside the dome. So,
That's up to you guys. Because isn't the dome? I think the caster can make it opaque or not. I'm gonna say it wasn't at this point because he hasn't said anything.
Then I will step outside. Step outside and basically begin chanting, and I will. I'll just stand there and chant for a moment, and then just kind of quickly stand there for a moment longer, concentrating, like my hands raised, sort of quietly mouthing symbols to myself, casting a silent image, and then I'm going to duck back inside and leave a double of myself in my place, doing exactly the same thing, basically, sort of silently mouthing the words to spells while raising hands and looking at the creature.
Okay.
And I am done. So can I tell if that got the creature's attention or not?
Let's see. Where did Mr. Creature go?
Because some of these powerful creatures have weird ass abilities to see through illusion, so
Yeah.
I have no idea if it'll work or not, but it's worth trying if you don't want to escape.
I don't see if he even bothered to look back. Okay. Yes, it did.
Alright, so it's probably going to go try and rip my double to shreds next turn.
Okay.
Sorry. Done.
Yeah, especially since he can't see us because the dome's opaque.
It is opaque. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's the only target around, aside from the barkeep.
Yeah, which doesn't seem to even notice yet. The barkeep is just kicking it there, munching on looks like some sort of sausage or something.
Oh, Goldcan's gonna squeak and fly back to the birdhouse. Or to his little bat house.
All right, get the hell out of here, huh? We're not playing with him.
No, thanks. All right. And now,
It's the barkeep's turn. Okay. So the barkeep then, you see him reach under the counter, pulls up what looks to be some sort of like pan flute type thing, and starts playing a little flute, playing a little song to keep himself amused, it looks like, and he's ignoring the whole situation. Gary.
Here's a question for you. I'm guessing it's a no, but if my familiar were to fly outside and I cast a spell through it, would that count, or would that be a creative way around the barrier?
I don't think you could cast it through to your familiar.
Yeah, I don't think it could extend.
Because I don't think you can cast spells through it, and so the power of it couldn't go through. In fact, I'd be amazed. I don't even think you should be able to see through your familiar while you're on the inside and it's on the outside.
Well, to see through them, you need to actually spend your action. But
Oh,
to
good
just
point.
cast, but to cast through them is something different.
Well, yeah, so it's not casting it through the barrier because it's coming directly from the familiar. I'm just the one casting it. That said, I would tend to agree with you as a DM. Like, that feels like not a rules is intended if a rules is written.
Yeah, because I can
either
see a lot
way,
of other ways I could abuse it too.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to that one. That's an interesting thought.
So he's gonna fly out and provide the help. Actually, he's gonna fly into the demon's face and squawk and flap his wings around and peck at his face, and then fly back into the dome.
Okay.
Nope, sorry. EOT.
Rick, here, you see the thing. The creature looks like it's flying away, but then an image of Nasir appeared, and Nasir stepped back inside, and you can see it outside. And the creature seems to have flipped its head around and it's turned around like it was leaving, and now it's coming back. And it's about 20 feet above you at this point. The dome goes up 10 feet, so it's 10 feet above the dome top.
I see. Well, I can't really do anything if it's that high, so. You know what? I'll take this chance. I'll just sort of. I'll move here, and I'll go, Nasir, do you want to. This thing looks like it's flying away. Do you want to. Do you want to attempt to let it escape, or let it leave, or are we trying to keep it here?
Nasir just flicks his eyes over at you. Kill it.
Alright.
So,
Let's see.
just
I'm gonna ready an action to grapple it once it goes and attacks Nasir's thing. His mirror image. Yeah. I mean,
Right, well, I want to rush through these turns because I want to see him grapple it. No, just kidding. All right, take your time.
Orden just growls, "What's the plan? Are we gonna peck away, or are we gonna create a strategy and drop this dome?" With that, he is not gonna do a damn thing, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think there is much. Well, nothing says I have to be in the center of it. So he'll move to the edge and ready an action to... No backup crossbow. Well, I mean, I think I do have a crossbow, but I think it's one of the things I specifically left behind with my medium armor. I certainly don't have one on me. He has a dagger, but with a major... You know what I thought of that would be cool in this situation, but again, it's another DM decision. The catapult spell that Mal was talking about that I don't have prepared, because you chuck it from inside the dome. I think when it passes through the dome, it's just a regular old rock.
Sure, that works in my book. Sure.
Either way, we're not doing anything. I'm good. Yeah.
Heather, process some of this thing. Can we wait it out? Yes or no?
One sec, guys. He thinks about it for a moment and just, well, we could, but we're talking the amount of time might be an hour.
What's the best way to get rid of this thing?
Kill the summoner, break the ritual that's probably going on somewhere, destroy it, or I could simply banish it.
He looks at her. Smiles. That would be lovely as he pulls out a little vial, one of his vials of holy water, and chucks it at the thing.
Go for it. I don't even think I even put her on the initiative order, did I?
Armor class 10. You only get your dex bonus when you're throwing stuff that you're not proficient with, right?
That makes sense. Yes, you would not get a proficiency if you're not proficient in it.
Right.
Yes.
All right, water goes up.
There she is. Okay. So you're gonna get some water up there to use later on, is what you're on.
Oh, he was trying to hit the thing with it, but
Oh, gotcha.
now that it's out there, so he'll.
Okay.
Like, that was wasted.
So yeah, Heather looks over at you, slightly confused, and then sort of shrugs and who goes on. Anything else you want to do? As a bartender plays his haunting flute in the
Oh,
corner.
Wait, she looked at me confused.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thorin. It seems to be a pretty static situation right now. A creature lured back in. Folks taking pot shots at it. What would you like to try to do? It's about 20 feet above your head. Well, you're tall.
All right.
But
I guess just take 2 more shots at it.
second one hits.
Second one hits. All right. So 8 damage on that.
Magic. Oh, it's a magic weapon anyway.
Yeah, that's a vicious longbow. I didn't think about it the first time when I used the other arrows.
Okay. Creature seems to be ignoring you, but then it's a demon. You haven't fought a lot of demons, so you don't know how it expresses pain. It's sure showing you how it's showing anger and frustration, though. It's screaming and spittle flying, and it's just clawing away.
All right, Thor just gonna go, maybe if you fucking come down here, we could hit each other.
Alright. Okay. Kaz is going to go down here, and per Willem's command, you see. So Rick, here, you're basically kind of just like waiting there with your sword away, ready to reach out.
Yeah, you see that I'm in like I'm clearly about to grab this thing when it comes down.
Wrestlers. All right, then Akaz is basically going to wait there, and basically ready the help action for when if this thing comes into his range, and he's done.
Okay. Odo. You have any more javelins left?
I do. I have many. And I do keep track of them. So I'll throw 2 more.
Hit, and unless you have advantage, the second one's a miss.
I do not think I do.
So first one hits for 9. Do you have any bugs following that or anything?
I have 1 bug and 1 favorite foe.
Oh, nice.
So. Yes.
And the javelins aren't magical, are they?
No. Unfortunately. It'd be hard to get 18 magical javelins. So 4 points of magical bug damage, 4 points of magical ire, I guess.
Yes, and then half on the javelin. Got it.
Yeah.
Another one slams into the creature. It does a bit of damage on it. You don't even see blood coming out of this thing at this point, but then again, it's a demon. Not sure if you're even hurting it.
Is this futile? Anyone think so?
Mal says probably.
But Odo, you're a ranger, aren't you? Go ahead and make a nature check. You've hunted a thing or two. And then
I don't
you go
think
ahead. Oh, no, you've never actually come across them, so you don't know either. Yeah, because they're not a nature thing. But it was worth a shot.
Well, James, at the end of last session, we made our check and then some because you told us everything about it.
Yes. No, I was just curious if he actually could tell if it was being damaged.
Oh, got it. I thought it was. Never mind. I got you.
Anything else you want to do then? Oh, it's an Abasu's turn. All right. Well, now is the moment anybody wants to give it a swipe at it. The Nabusu comes down and just tears this thing apart, rips into the illusion as it's screaming and wailing at it.
All right, I guess it's my time to jump out and grab it.
With advantage.
And
Because
blessed.
Willie. Sorry, Akaz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That works.
Well done.
Plus 1 die 4.
Yeah.
No, that's not for ability checks, just for saving throws and attacks.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. Well, yes, then. I guess I have to roll a resistance. Let's see here. That's strength or dex. That's right. Here
It
we
can
go.
do acrobatics or athletics.
And it's not a saving throw. It's an actual
Yeah. Just an ability check,
Skill
so it doesn't
check,
get saving
yeah.
throw. Saving
Yeah,
throws.
no, it's-
Oh, and I rolled an 8. I'm rolling really lousy on these guys tonight. That was a 2, and he rolled a 2 on the last one, too. All right, so yes, you've grabbed onto this thing and wrestled it down, pretty much almost to the ground, I guess, or you're holding on to it.
I think you'd be outside the dome, though, now?
At least his hands are,
Yeah.
most of them.
So some of it would have to be out to be holding it.
Anything else you can do or want to do?
That was just my ready action.
That's right. That's right. It's their turn. All right. Well, the creature then, it can't do much because it already used its attack, and you grappled on that one. It used its turn to try to figure out about the illusion and failed. So you lucked out on that one, Nasir.
All right, guys, now's the time.
It's done. Actually, it does have 2 attacks. It's going to try to take a bite at you. Bite the hand it's grabbing onto it. Oh, does the 20 hit?
No.
Oh, you lucked out. Whew. Let's see what the damage is, just for giggles.
Now if we
Hey, there we go.
Fucking A.
now if we can get a thorn next to it.
I'm glad I didn't get this.
Wow, that's pretty obnoxious. That's like
That would take out Mal.
it's like more than a fireball.
That was a good roll, though. All right, so the creature's slashing away over there, tries to bite at the arms that are grabbing onto it. You've wrestled it. It's now your turn, Nasir.
All right. Nasir will scream out in character. Kill it! Kill it now! Out of the circle now, taking shots at it.
Well, bummer.
Yeah, well, that happens.
And both of them miss as they bounce off or around the edges of the shield.
All right, I don't think I have anything I can do with that sack in this case. Okay. Just back in the hole.
Jump back inside.
Yeah, for someone who did my illusion, yeah.
So Heather looks over at you, Mal, and goes, well, if things get bad, let me know and I'll banish it, but there is a price. And she winks at you.
He smiles, isn't there always?
And then she just sits down and goes back to drinking her glass of wine.
These are some laxed ass people in this bar. They're just hanging out.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, the very right before that, she looks like she casts a spell, and then leaves it hanging and looks at you. And Malin says, "Again, just say when. The price is I get you for 8 hours."
Of fun.
And she just smiles and winks again.
Oh, actually, he used this in 3 points.
Yeah, the barkeep puts his little flute down, and he's only like about, what is he, like 10, 15 feet away from this thing, and just slowly steps casually, sort of quietly off to around the edges and dips into the other room. Gary. But what was Oilcan going to do? You were just keeping him on his roost, weren't you? I think that's what he said before. All right, Gary then.
Gary will fly out, claw at its face, provide the help action, and fly back to where he is.
Anything else? It's Rakir's turn. What are you gonna do with this thing now that you've got it?
I was really hoping everyone else would sort of move in.
Would kill it or something now that you're holding on to it.
Slowly getting there. We're getting there.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I
they all have all the
suppose-
hitters haven't gone again.
Let's see here. What I can do is probably I just keep trying to hold on to it. But other than that, I'll pull out the. I suppose I didn't describe how I grappled this thing, so I'm assuming I'm just holding on to it with my hands. So I'll
At this
take out
point-
that. Yeah, I'll take out that dagger, and just try to stab at it while I'm holding it.
Okay.
Is it a magic dagger?
It is.
It's the one that talks to me. Yeah.
It wouldn't penetrate the dome then.
Oh, that's right. You're on
Yeah.
the inside.
Or at least I
wouldn't
don't think so.
I mean, if that's the case, then Thorn could have been shooting those arrows, right?
Yep. Good point. So we'll ignore
Well, I
that.
think
Oh, it just yeah, that's a tough one. I'll have to look at that
Yeah.
again.
yeah, I think that's what Thorn said. He's like, oh, I didn't realize.
I don't think I can pin it without the grappler feat.
Nope. Well, you can shove it, and if you when it goes prone, so it's not restrained, but it's effectively gives the benefits because now it's prone, so that's everyone who can go into melee with it can get advantage.
Ah, I see.
And a disadvantage attack.
We might have to grab it again though. So, you know.
I mean, you can either try and shove it prone with one of your attacks, just attack it as regular, try and do damage, or you can ready an attack to try and re-grab it if it tries to get free, or something else.
Let's see. I think I'll play it a little safer and just try and stab at it. Maintain hold on it. That sounds
Okay. What are you going to stab at it with though? Unless you pull, you can step out and step back in if you want, while
Yeah,
you're
sure.
wrestling and holding on to
sounds
it.
good. Just rotate around like this.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Sounds good. So does a 20 hit it?
Yeah.
9.
And this is with what? I'm sorry.
The,
Oh, that dagger.
The
Gotcha.
magic dagger, yeah. And
Okay,
then
I don't know.
I'm assuming the 12 doesn't hit.
I don't think that dagger is too much special on it. It was gotten at first level.
But it
Or
reveals
second.
it reveals the strongest in the room.
Yeah.
It's
Magic items.
an interesting feature to me at least.
The murderous stiletto. That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else then? Stab into this thing with a dagger. You can tell that it actually felt it, but it doesn't seem to actually give much of a reaction to it. First one hit, second one missed.
You know, well, I'll attempt to use the fire rune on it. Yeah, I can do this. It's got to do a strength saving throw.
That probably made it. What's the DC?
The DC is, I think it's like, yeah, you made it.
This thing's a mercilessly strong creature. As you were wrestling and feeling, you could feel the strength below it.
That's it. Yeah, I figured, but I might as well give it a shot, because if that had worked, it would have restrained it for a minute.
Hey, I saw first level guys restrain a werewolf, so hey. All right.
It's doable.
It's doable. Orden.
We'll use a little movement to move here. Orden's just gonna growl, look around, and say, I'm not staying inside here forever. Make a plan, or I've got to bring it down. I can't hit it from in here. That's all he's gonna do.
Lamb.
Can you death ward me for 8 hours?
You already got it.
Banishment would be great. 8 hours sounds like fun.
I got how the two went together now. Okay. Like, why do you need Death Ward for the date? Oh God, yeah.
He wants a woman that will literally kill him.
And
All
then,
right. Well, as you say that, then her spell that she had held goes off. I have never actually cast this spell.
If it's going off inside the dome, it's gonna
Oh,
fizzle
that's
out.
right. She's gonna have to. Actually, no, she won't. That's right. She'll have to step out, and then she'd lose it. So I would take that back. She did not cast it, but she told you she will. She just smiles and says and tells you on that one, hold it in place. And you go ahead, Mal. What else do you want to do?
He'll pull out Rappy and I actually can't move. Is there something here?
Is there something where? What?
Is there something there?
What is that? It's a glowing circle. Oh, it's the will-o-wisp.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so you can move through that space.
Okay. He'll move up, pull out Rappy, and get ready to attack if the bubble goes down. So wait, can you move in and out of the bubble?
Yes, absolutely.
You can move in and out with magical stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Then he'll just take a step out. Swat at it. Nope.
That was the one, yeah.
Yeah. And then pop back in.
Oh yes, you swing up at it, you step out of it and go stab, and you hear the sword talking to you, and your head going, "Well, this is a pretty underhanded little attack," and it sort of twists a little bit in your hand, and you miss completely.
Ah, yeah, I know. Okay, I won't do it again. He'll pop back in. Rappy's with you, Orden.
We're still at 20. We're at the top of the round still. Wow. Okay, Thorin.
Hey James, do you have a heartbeat sound effect going?
I don't hear anything. Yeah, no, I do. Sorry. Where is it, anyways? Oh, it must be in this one over here.
For
Oh,
some
interesting.
reason, I don't mind any of the sound effects whatsoever,
Except
but
for
that
heartbeat, huh?
heartbeat consistently, same over and over, repetitive noise goes straight to my brain. Ask my son, he'll tell you.
I understand. Water torture test. Speaking of water torture. All right. Funny thing, I didn't even notice it. Thorin, what would you like to? You stepped out, it looks like.
Yeah. Thorn's gonna step out, debating. Yeah, fuck it. Thorn's gonna step out. He's gonna use his bonus action to fighting spirit. Use his fighting spirit, and he's gonna action surge and attack this thing 4 times.
Nice.
I imagine it looks like you know, if you've ever seen people like in the holding a punching bag.
There you go. Whack, 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 whack. Oh, there they all are. Hit, hit. Do you have advantage on any of these things?
Every single one, actually.
Then every single one hit. You do that
Nice.
math. I don't want to add all that up.
I got you. That's a 23, then 35, and then followed by 8 more. So
43 total.
43. Yep, 43 total.
Nice.
Oh my god, that's almost as much as well. That's one more than its bite.
You have finally blooded it after that one. You smacked at it, and the creature screams and looks over. It's got a rip across its face, this bleaking flame. It's a dark flame, and it just looks like it's rather upset with you. What else do you want to do?
Oh man. I guess Thorn's gonna give it a wink and then slink back into the dome.
Which way do you go? Oh, you're moving through Mal, taking the difficult terrain. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's gonna take an extra 5. Would he
Now,
get an attack of opportunity?
I think it. Oh, but you're through the wall.
I
No.
was thinking this before. It depends on how it's worded, but I think the wording is if it leaves your threat range, and technically going back in the domes would be leaving a threat range.
It's the moment I backed away from that spot right here. I guess I'd be leaving it.
That said, if he had a one to use, he probably would have used it on Mal.
No, that's all right. I don't think I'm going to go with that, but I'm not going to let you guys to do that. And if I turn this around the other way either,
All right.
because I'm still seeing you being that your Mal square is still inside its threat range. The only thing different is there's an invisible shield, but that doesn't seem like it would change anything. You don't have to watch as you step away. Okay, so we'll ignore that then.
Yeah,
right.
my only thing would be where would it stop for Sentinel?
Yeah. So it would have attacked
true.
where Mal is as you stepped away, but it can't. Or it
Can't do
does, but it
anything.
hits the wall. It screeches and scratches at the wall. But that's dead. Let's see if it would have killed you.
Did I get
All
hit?
right. No,
All right.
you would have
Try to-
noticed it.
All right. I think that's what Thorn's gonna do. Thorn's gonna walk in there. I'll try to debate if we're gonna stay outside the dome, but
It would have done a
Yeah.
claw and missed you.
Oh well. I was hoping you could stay out there so we can get your sentinel on it.
All
Yeah,
right, so
sure.
now what?
Thorn actually, instead of going back in the dome, Thorn's gonna go to the other side to give Rakir advantage, flanking it.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, Thorn's gonna do that then. He's gonna switch over, so I still don't get attack, but that's gonna be the end of his turn at that point.
All right.
Yeah, Thorn wouldn't want to hide anyways. He'd want to be in the action.
All right. The wisp goes to the other side, and basically, if it's going to try and flee, then the wisp is going to give it a little shock and help action it, so it's ready to action.
Okay.
Garrick.
Odo/Garrick.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, if someone's outside of the dome, I can't affect them with a magical effect?
Correct.
Okay. So I guess I will use my action to use Emboldening Bond with Mal, Rakir, and myself since we're in the dome.
I've never heard that one.
Little butterfly flies on your shoulder and kind of like melds into your skin. And as long as we're within...
Ooh, ah!
Sorry.
Where are you going?
Oh, God. Oh. Should have warned you.
Cut it out.
You guys all have an extra 1d4 that you can add to one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw per turn.
Nice.
All right.
As long as you're within 30 feet of someone else marked, which, you know, I don't think we're going to be outside of that. And I think that shall do it. It is now Nabisco's turn.
Nabisco, huh? Okay. The Nabisu then. Well, it's got a pretty high talent, it's not a beast. So let's see what it's going to do here. It's going after Thorin, who just did a whole hell of a lot of damage to it.
Has it been talking this whole time?
The beast? No, Nabisco doesn't talk.
Screeching.
It's just screeching and making snarling
Sorry,
noises
I
and
meant
stuff.
the Nabisu, yeah.
Yeah. And where'd he go? I lost him. There he goes. It does a gaze over onto poor Thorin. Thorin,
Ah, charisma too, huh?
Oh no.
so give me a charisma save as the fiery eyes lock onto yours and you feel it tearing away at your soul,
Oh no.
Don't
reducing
forget
your
your
hit
D4.
points.
Thorin, yeah, he
Although
was
that's
blessed.
not
That's not
going to
make a
matter.
difference now. 2d12. And your hit point... Oh, and I rolled
Oh,
max. Son of a bitch.
Jesus.
Damn.
Oh.
You just lost
That's
24 hit points.
Ah, it's all right.
As you feel it ripping away at your soul as you can see the creature in front of you healing, drawing your strength away from you and into it. And then it gets to attack.
Give back Thorin's soul.
It does that as a bonus action.
Yeah, it uses its soul stealing gaze and makes 2 attacks, one with claw, one with bite. Here comes the claw.
Ow.
I fucked up. Should have stayed in that dome. Fuck Avenger. Flanking.
Oh my god.
This is why I said we should find out what it can do before we decide to drop that dome.
21
Well, I
points
mean-
of damage. We're trying to drag
is
his
the-
ass back inside.
This is the only way we find out what it does.
As it's screaming in
I'm taking
this, which you can only think is maybe joy for a demon, as it goes tearing into you with its claws and its mouth comes down to bite onto you. Looks like the 19 missed, I imagine.
Yeah, thankfully.
Thankfully, that's the 4d12 plus damage. All right, so you just took the
Wasn't too
21
bad.
from the claws and a 24 from the sucking your soul.
A little bit of soul sucking, a little bit of claws. It's all right.
Oh, and speaking of which, anybody know? I guess I could look. This thing over here, everything within 10 feet is in a dim light. I don't think it just reduces perception checks, I believe. Anybody know anything different?
If
I
it's in
can't
dim
think of
light and
anything
you
off the top
don't
of my
have
head.
dark vision, I think there'd be disadvantage on attacks.
I wish they'd put that on the DM
What?
shield.
No.
I don't see it. I
Just
think it's
isn't
just
it?
perception.
If you're attacking in dim light, isn't that disadvantage?
on perception.
No.
Oh.
It's
Oh, here we go.
If you keep
Lightly obscured is on the DM shield. I'm glad I put on the wall. Creatures have disadvantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight, example, dim light, patchy fog, etc. So it's just a disadvantage on wisdom checks to spot it. Big deal. It's more of effect. So the area where you're at, Thorin, is sort of in this darkness, like it's in dusk, as this creature's ripping away at you, and it
Well,
gets to move.
Thorn's sword does give off light.
Okay,
Wait,
cool.
wait, it gets to move?
Non-magical light cannot illuminate it, but that's magical, so that's okay. And it's not going to move. We're done. It's finally found something to kill, so it's happy.
Well, it's grappled. I don't think it can move. Unless
Oh, is it
breaks
still
the
being
grapple.
grappled? I thought he got
Yeah.
rid of it when he was stabbing at it.
Not unless he
No, you
breaks
can-
it.
Okay. All right, Willem.
all right. After he sees sees how it basically rips into Thorin, he just sort of gets a determined look on his face. Steps outside, raises his hands, and
Oh, you beat her to it. Good job.
well, not necessarily.
Yay! I mean, damn.
Didn't know you had it.
You lost your 8 hours.
Well, not necessarily.
It has to make a save.
I took it last level because it's good for a lot of different stuff. This wasn't why I initially took it, but it works.
Well, let's see. What is the DC on that thing?
16. Oh, it doesn't tell you? Huh.
No, it doesn't, does it? It does when it's an attack.
Yeah, sorry.
There we go.
I just
All
displayed
right,
it.
so unfortunately, this thing's got a horrendously high charisma. Let's see. Ah!
Oh.
That's actually not very much. That's only +3.
Yes, it's not horrendously high, but it's 17.
But wait, rolling high always works. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't it?
And he'll say, but buy me more time, and he'll duck back in. Look like
Thorn's gonna hold his thumb up very warily.
You got it, Nasir. Oh,
Heather looks around, a little worried. That should have worked. That's what I was going to do. And she takes a step out to 3 and does the same
Believe
thing.
in you.
And now she's gonna lose her 8 hours if I get another shot, maybe.
Yeah.
Cock block Mal.
That's it. Where did it go? Banishment. There it is. Yep, she upcasted that thing. She did.
Doesn't actually do anything though.
Just lets her put it on an additional creature.
No, I hit the wrong button. I
Oh,
was,
it
I was
does?
supposed to
Oh, holy
Yeah.
shit, that's good.
Oh no.
make all your
Hopefully
party
any
go
of us will-
bye-bye. All right, and let's see. She does the same thing, but it's got a slightly higher DC this time. Let's see if it can stop this one.
So it needs a 15 or better, so it's got a 60% chance of failing.
Ah!
Yes.
She steps out, does the same type. You can hear the same words coming from her, and the creature blinks out. It screams and blinks out of existence. And you see her do a little fist pump over on the side over there. Gotcha!
Willem turns and gives her basically a quiet half bow.
She just smiles and says, well, I wish I could say I hadn't done this more often than you.
She wouldn't be able to see him inside the dome anyway.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, that's right. Fair.
Anybody else? All right, and then she just, at that point, she just sits back over there and yells back at Jake, over.
Round for the house.
I'd imagine she'd just banish it and then just drag Mel away.
She has to keep concentration on it for a minute.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty much where she wraps up on, looks over at Mal and goes, well, you have a minute left to yourself.
Whew.
He looked at 8 hours, right? He looks at this year.
Orden says to Mal, remember, you have that sending stone. Keep it nearby. If you need
Good
help,
idea.
call us.
A little less, but yeah, you should be fine. Just, grit your teeth for the last hour or so.
He'll hike up his breeches, straighten up his coat, and walk over. Shall we have a drink?
Orden will step outside of the dome and...
Watch it fall.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll get rid of this thing for now. We'll re-roll if it comes back. Jake peeks around again. Oh, that was a... Oh, what happened to the Dragonborn?
Not much. Thorn is gonna pull out some gold out of his pocket and slam on the fucking counter. Drinks, please.
The bartender picks up the bottle up from underneath and slides it on down to you and then chases it with a glass afterwards.
Heather, is there any way you could trace where the person who summoned that might be?
Not now. I was thinking maybe a scrying might work, but I would need pieces of the demon or something like that, I believe. It would be really tricky to find him otherwise.
Hey, Mal, before you leave, give us the one little thing for Torm.
Oh. Sure. Well, I mean, are we leaving right now? He says.
She looks down. 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
You swear she's counting off in her head.
He'll hop down, run over, and slip it from the pack into under the table, kind of slide it over to
Oops,
see
wrong
her.
map. What thing is it that you're grabbing?
the Altar of Torm.
Oh, that's pretty big, though.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to do it under the table.
I'm not sure how you're doing that under the table. What layer
What
is this
magic is
stupid dome
this?
on? Oh, the
That's
dome's on the... I had the
moved us-
dome and you couldn't even see it. Oh, well.
What magic has moved us all outside?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah, I was going to use
Yeah.
that, and it was on the wrong layer the whole time. Oh, well. All right.
Orden looks over at Odo and says, "Are you able to heal our friendly dragonborn here at all, possibly?"
Yeah, a smidgen at least.
And then Orden will toss him one of his healing potions too. Or actually, you know what? I still have that vial of troll blood. I forget what the stats are, but that'll probably heal you over time more than a healing potion.
Is my points permanently reduced at the moment, or is it still
Not
back
the
up
word,
now?
not permanently, but I believe it's till you get a long rest.
It's a long rest,
Long
so
or
there.
Yeah,
short.
short or long rest. So once you get your night's rest in, you'll be able to go back up. But right now, you are reduced by 24 hit points.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good. Don't waste your spell slot if we're going to take a short rest right now.
Yeah. Thorns, I appreciate it, but I'll be fine for now.
And it's late afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just almost dusk.
Yeah.
So things quiet down. The bartender comes out and he's sort of chuckling over the whole mess about it all after giving you guys a drink. Normally it doesn't get this rough until after midnight.
We're overachievers.
Well, you're welcome back anytime. I haven't had that much fun in ages.
Hey, Thorin, Orden is going to give you his vial of troll blood. It's far better in your hands than his. It has a regenerative quality. James would have to tell you the exact numbers.
All right. Well, heck yeah. It's much appreciated.
I can also give you a 2d6 if need be.
Yeah, he can only get up to 40 hit points right now.
I think I've still got a potion
Yep.
of rapture weed. That won't heal you, but it'll make you feel better.
Orden says, "I'll take that."
Just chewing on it.
Hey, Thorin, Mal slides a potion of healing down the bar towards you.
Thorn nodded his head. Appreciated.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for doing that.
So
Orden
Thank
is,
you for taking the 8 hours.
Yeah,
Orden
it's gonna
is-
be tough. He winks at Heather.
And the two of them disappear from the screen.
Oh shit!
does she dimension door them out?
Yep.
Orden is pretty grumpy that he didn't get to touch that fucking critter at all. He's mumbling to himself.
Hey, Rakir, you want to help me with this?
Sure.
Drag this over into the corner there.
It's
Yeah, I'll drag
15
whatever you
pounds.
need.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he can. He's not that noodly, but
Yeah.
all right. I got an idea of who this might be, but
15 pounds.
we're gonna need to find it out right now. So you see, pulls out a pouch, pull it basically what looks like a thieves' tool thing, just like a long sleeve with a bunch of different pouches in there. Sort of like looks through reading the labels and pulls out one pulls out a little thing of hair, rolls between his fingers, and starts basically concentrating on the altar.
Alright. Rakir will, while he's doing that, go over there and start tearing down the barricade he put up. So that we can
Okay.
leave.
Yeah, all the barrels of stuff everywhere and things. Absolutely.
I'm terribly sorry about the mess, by the way. I really did think that he would just walk through the front door.
Bartender just waves it off. Are you doing a ritual on the altar? Is that a ritual thing or a regular old done and you're done?
Nope, it's a basically you can use the altar to cast scrying once per day, and I'm casting on Count Rosnar with a piece of his body.
To see where he is. That's right.
Yep. See where he is, to see if he might be the bastard who did this, because he's the first culprit that
I'll
Nasir's
roll
thinking
and
of.
see how high he goes, and then I'll go look up to see what the actual DC and all that is. I can't remember off the top of my head. Not
Are
gonna
we
worry
able to
about
take
looking it
a
up.
short rest real quick?
I think he gets because I have a piece of him. I think it's at least -10 to his roll.
Yeah, it's not gonna bother. Not quite yet, but you guys can figure out what you want to do. Mal's disappeared. The demon's gone. What do you want to do? You could take a breather right now, though, if you want. Which was it's been so long since we've done one.
If it's late afternoon, Orden would be all about staying in here for at least an hour, drinking and taking a minute. That'd be a nice short rest.
I would hate to imagine that another demon might drop on us while we're trying to rest.
So, well, you guys get open the little door, and the kids come running back in. The little boy's like, "Did you see that thing on the roof?
Yes.
That was awesome!"
Uh,
And the little girl's like, "I thought it was disgusting. You know they eat people."
I much more agree with you, yes.
See, where are you guys gonna stay? You have to find a hotel soon. It's gonna get dark. The little boy says. There's a nice one across. Well, not down the other side of the street.
Well, actually, children, do you know of any some sorcerers or summoners in this town, by any chance?
Yeah, there's a few.
Any that can summon things like that?
A couple. A few. And how
Look
long is
over
it,
at
Rick? Nasir, how long does your spell take, anyways?
It takes 10 minutes to cast.
Okay, so we won't worry about that for right now.
Mhm.
Nasir's busy doing something.
All right, well.
So little boy tells you, well, there's the end across the street, the one with the tree growing out of it. That one's only going to be, you have to put a bid in. You might get it for, maybe 20 gold for the floor. There's the place right next door here, which is really nice. I guess the little girl says it's really. The girl says, but actually, the girl interrupts on that one. It's her side of the street. She says, yes, there's a nice inn here, and then there's the one where you guys stopped in first, all the way back up on the top.
That one's off the table, I think.
Yeah, I don't like the way the dragonborn smell either. Oh, and then she sees, Thorn.
Thorn's just gonna give her a side eye.
Orden
Well,
says,
I don't like the way little fuckers smell either.
That's gonna be reflected in your tip, girl. I told you not to be rude. That includes especially my friends.
That includes casual racism.
Children?
Children. She grumpily goes over and sits down.
Good call. An apology might do you good, too. Orden gives her a hard stare.
I'm sorry you smell.
I'm sorry you smell too.
Orden does laugh at that, but isn't gonna give her shit for
Thorn's gonna flick her forehead too.
That one makes her laugh, and she rolls away and sort of, squeals. The barkeep's just scratching his head. You all are a weird bunch.
You
not what we see around. Yeah, we're not what we normally see around here.
Are we a weird bunch?
We weren't the ones playing a flute while a demon was attacking.
He got you there.
Well, that's
Yes.
normal for around here.
Well, if that's normal, I don't know if I want to be normal.
So at this point, some people start coming back in as you opened up the place. Some of the servants start rolling back in. You see the housekeepers come back in and so forth.
We just made it a convertible pub, that's all.
That's all.
We thought it could use a more, natural light.
Put in a skylight for him.
So where would you like to... Oh, we're waiting for Nasir's spell. Okay, we'll say that goes off. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to find out or ask before we dive into his spell?
Yeah, just like a list. I guess the kid said that there was multiple summoners, people that were capable of this. I'll just take their names down, whatever they are.
Okay. Yeah, they rattle off a few of them. One of them is Heather, who just left. And a couple other names you don't recognize, but they tell you about them.
Remind me how we were tipped off this guy was coming in the first place?
Bartender.
No, Heather.
Heather did? I thought it was the bartender.
Heather's eyes basically like turned a weird shade, and she just basically just barked out some.
Oh yeah, sure.
Nonsense.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And then she basically went, "Oh yeah." Then once we went, "You're okay?" She's like, "Oh yeah, something's coming. Good luck with that, because it's probably coming for you." So she somehow basically knew that this demon was incoming.
Like from the people walking in the bar, can Thorn like ask them? Like, I mean, obviously thinking screeching across town. Like, can Thorn ask anybody if he saw what direction they came from?
Oh, that's a good chance of that. Let's see.
Or unless it just popped on top of the building out of nowhere.
No, it had to find you. Oh my god, I love your 2-die-4 roll, Thorn. I'm so sorry.
It's all
I just
good.
know that I just switched over to that screen again.
Thorn just walking around with a limp the rest of the game.
You okay, Thorn? You don't look so good.
I'm doing fine. You know, it just about a flesh wound.
Rub some dirt in it.
So
I
the
would
guy,
not advise rubbing dirt in it.
somebody pokes their head in as you guys are talking about it. He looks and goes, "Is that thing gone?" And you get
Yes.
an idea that he must have seen that one, Thorn.
She says that.
Yes, you saw where it came from.
Yeah, he points over. Yeah, it came over that way, over from the burned out side of town.
Burned outside of town.
Thorn's actually gonna pull a piece of gold out of his pocket.
Sir, you have helped me exponentially. Thank you very much.
And just go back and relay that information.
Yeah, he comes in, takes a seat by the fire. He's looking up at the hole. Most people are coming in, looking at the hole, or kicking pieces of the wood out of the way. All right, Adam, Nasir Willem. So the spell goes off. Then you see this, as you can see through this thing. Then this image of being in a cavern. And I'm just gonna move you there. Do. And then I guess I need to put a token on here. We'll use the will-o-wisp. And that's the scene you see.
Which one is Rosnar?
Rosnar is the one in white background.
Okay, so I see something like this then. From that
Yeah.
angle.
So there's a big summoning circle. There is a huge knoll of oddest things, which is tied up over in the corner, snapping and pulling away at some chains that it's bolted to the floor. In the middle of the area there then is a big summoning circle that looks like it has a spell on it, and there's 3 wizards of some sort, or 3 magic spellcasters surrounding it, and Rosnar's off to the side. And they're all focusing on this thing.
Rosnar is not participating.
He's not, it looks like he might be, but he's not casting the spell.
Okay. Is there anything in particular about this whole area that's is all distinct? Or it's just basically your generic cavern somewhere?
That's the tough one, yes. What senses? Can you throw the spell up there for me? I'm just curious if it's sight only, sight, smell, hearing, all
Yep,
5 senses.
Give 1 sec.
That might help if I was on the right tab. I could see it. There it is. See and hear.
Yeah, the duration is basically, so I'm going to be out of it for 10 minutes. So I can see and hear, and it basically follows the target, remaining within 10 feet for the duration.
All right, so the spell goes, you get there, Rosnar and them around it. You don't recognize the place at all, and then you hear Rosnar sort of slumps and goes, "Shit, it's gone!" And the wizards all stop, and the spell comes to a stop. And then he starts wandering off to the north.
Alright. So what are the wizards doing after he starts wandering off?
Most of them sort of collapse back down to the ground. Looks like they're taking a rest. They drop
Okay.
down onto the ground. One of them steps back onto those tables that are there, and oops, that's blood.
Okay, I will take note of their faces as best
Okay.
as possible. I'm assuming it's not like dim or anything. I can clearly see them, right?
Yeah, can you see them on the map, the 3 of them? I want to make sure I have them on the right layer. Things are
Yep.
messing with me here.
Yep, I see like that one cleric woman that were the same token as the cleric woman we fought on the cultist isle. And
Yeah,
some,
I know the joke.
some blonde dude and some guy who looks like he's got some skulls in the background. Oh, it's a tiefling, isn't it?
Probably. It's just tokens that come with it. So yes,
Okay.
there's 3 magic users. You can tell they're not all from the same discipline. They're not even all wizards.
Did totally different implements and such that they're bringing to the table.
Yeah, and then Rosnar's storming off.
Okay.
So
what do I see with him for 10 minutes?
So I will not going to do a whole bunch. Let's get up on there. Let me get on the right layer. What layer is he on? Why is this thing not working? Oh, everybody's on the map layer. That makes it interesting. Okay, here we go. Okay. So you can wander around here if you want. He walks the entire cave area, so go ahead, feel free to explore it. Throw it on your map real quick. This area here, there are large cages like the ones that were upstairs that were hanging off of the giblet, whatever they called those things, and they have 2 dead people in them at this point. Heading down further south, there is a large room down there which looks like some sort of torture chamber with racks and various types of implements, a coffin and so forth there. No one else seems to be here. He comes over here and picks up a book off of one of these tables and then turns around and heads back out.
So far, I've not seen any entrance yet, or exit.
Until he gets to about where he is now, which I'll let you get to. And he climbs up a big old ladder.
Don't see where you... Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Little tucked in corner. And he starts climbing up this ladder that's underneath him.
Oh, okay. That's what that thing is. I didn't recognize. Okay, gotcha.
At that point, the 2 of you come out in a ruined building that you haven't seen before, but you've seen some of the scenery around it. So you've walked by the area. You just haven't been inside this building. It's over on the burned out side. He walks out of that, and 10 minutes later gets him all the way back into the nice hotel. Well, actually, no, gets him back to the nice hotel.
Okay, so
back to the Pearl, and he goes in there and goes on up to the 3rd floor to a room.
So pretty much basically as soon as this basically starts going off, you see Nasir just sort of like reaching around himself, just flailing, trying to grab something. And if he can't find Rakir, are you still there, Rakir, or did you wander off?
I think he wandered off because he was putting those barrels and stuff away.
Okay, you see Nasir starts going on the table.
Thorin will walk over and kind of approach him.
I think Nasir's having a seizure.
Nasir, buddy, you okay?
He'll sort of just reach around himself. If it doesn't touch anything, he'll just continue to bang on the table until he makes contact with somebody.
You would have hit Thorin eventually.
Okay. If he feels basically up and down your chest to make sure it's you, and if he goes up until he feels your scaly face, he grabs you by the collar and pulls you and tries to pull you back down, but probably winds up pulling himself halfway out of the seat instead, and starts basically hurriedly basically narrating to you what he's seeing as he's seeing it.
All right.
Just so you get the idea.
What's going on?
With basically him ending after after however long it took. Like, it sounds like it didn't take him very long to do that. Maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That Rosnar is now basically back in the what was it called? The something in?
The Pearl. You called it the Pearl necklace, but yeah, the Pearl.
Oh, the super fancy one, with the one right next door.
Right.
What a ball sack.
That's the one where you can rent out the 2nd level, right?
No, that was another one over with a tree in it.
Yeah, that's the Willow Inn.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, the bed and breakfast is the first nice one. Then the Willow Inn was the other, the forbidden, and the Pearl is the really nice one. All right. I assume for the rest of the spell, Rosnar just basically goes to his room and reads or something, or what?
Yep. He takes that book he was looking at.
Ooh, can I see anything about it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that the book he's looking at it's a journal of some sort. Looks to be very old, and has to do with demonology.
Okay. So it's nothing written by him. He's just basically looking up general demonology information, obviously, for something else to throw at us, probably. Okay.
I guess so.
Gotcha. Okay, cool beans. All right, Thorin, what do you do with that information?
Well, as the seer's kind of telling him that, you kind of try to huddle everybody else over and kind of repeat it back to Orden and everybody else.
These wizards you saw in the cave, do you think they could be any one of these people, the children?
Nasir didn't tell me that specifically.
Imagine Nasir's still deaf and blind at the moment.
Yeah, for another 5 minutes as he's basically
Yeah.
just watching Rosnar to make sure he doesn't do anything else weird. We'll be back in
Okay.
5.
Seems to be normal wizards at the moment. But his base, where he summoned it, seems to be on the bird side of town. And he's in the 3rd floor of the Pearl. Rosnar is his.
Orden cracks his knuckles and says, I say we go kill that bastard. Or short of that, at least go trash his
Well, if
fucking
you feel like
hideout.
challenging him to single combat, that would be allowed, but he could just pay someone to fight for him.
Why does that have anything to do with it? I'd like
Well, I
just
mean, if you
kill him to kill him.
I don't
Which I know
believe
we
that.
I mean, as much as I would love to take that bastard's head off his body, we are here to see the dragon, and unneeded fighting could cause us problems in that part.
Oh,
Yes,
by the way,
I was going to say, killing him would upset the town quite a bit.
I mean, Friday.
Nobody likes that bastard. Nobody
Nah,
respects him.
so retroactive a little bit. Apparently, I don't. Apparently, I don't lose my senses.
Oh, you don't? You okay?
Yeah, I thought it worked like a familiar, but no, it's just basically you can see and hear through the sensor. It doesn't say that you
lose your
only,
stuff?
Yeah. So
Okay.
at this point, Nasir is just kind of like just sitting back there, just saying, like, oh, say, you know what we have, now, right?
But
Good reason to kill a Raznar?
We've got
you
a,
already had that reason.
we've got a clear case of assault by Rosnar and those wizards. So we're gonna go right over to that one guy and then report the assault.
the knockers.
Yep,
Can we
report
prove it?
pretty well. I mean,
Thorn's gonna motion to his body.
I'm evidence.
they can question me. I literally saw them summon the demon by looking through the scrying thing.
Yes, if they have a truth, if they have some kind of zone of truth or something, that could work.
I know exactly where their little summoning circle was, so we can go right down there right now and basically probably find the wizards that did it.
Just catch them with their pants down.
So yeah, if we want to try and we could try and do that, which would then give us the right to basically challenge him in the arena, kill him, take his stuff.
Kill who? Rosnar?
Yup.
That wouldn't work. Remember, you can pay someone to have fight for you in the arena.
Well, no. Was that? Is it for both sides or only for one side?
So you can choose someone to take your spot and fight for you. Both sides can.
Both sides or only the?
Yeah. So say if he challenged you, you could choose Rakir, Thorn, or somebody to take your set instead.
Little kids are nodding in agreement.
But my mistake. Only I figured it'd be a little more just than that, and it would force at least the one who basically.
I mean, there's some justice. I don't think there's very much here.
Unless we make it ourselves.
This is a den of
This is
a den of criminals, mostly.
However, they did say that we can. However, the other side of it is that basically we were attacked by him, so we can go kill him right now in self-defense as long as we can prove it, and as long as basically we got the body. Got the body.
I like where you're thinking.
I'm no lawyer, but I don't know if that sounds like a loose case even to me.
We have a bag of holding. We can hide a body pretty easily.
No, there's gonna be witnesses. If we want to do this, we gotta justify it, or else we might get tossed out or tossed in the arena as well.
The little boy's like, I know where to hide bodies.
You do?
I bet you do.
Thorn pats his head.
Thank you.
Where?
The healers, there's a couple people that will buy them. The healers will buy them.
Orden Bubbles.
Thorn's gonna ask the
The
child.
healers will buy
Yes.
them.
Yep, that's
Alright.
pretty
Thorn's gonna ask the child. Okay, considering the circumstances, this demon attacked us. We know who did it. If we attack, does this kid know if we attack Raznar? Right now, does the kid know if he get any retribution from that at all from the guards? Does he know?
You probably want to just get the guards involved up front.
Guards are-
Just let them settle it.
All right. You're very wise for a child.
Ah.
All right, okay.
So, guards,
Orden says, I'm at least going to tell this guy who's responsible for trashing his inn.
by all means.
All right. Well, we have no time to lose then. Let's go
Where are you going?
to the
Or
guards.
go ahead and move
right?
yourself. I don't need to. We got an
Yeah.
active map here.
All right, then.
James Orden is gonna approach. I'm forgetting his name. Jake.
Yes.
Beckon him over and say, "Thanks for the hospitality." And P.S. Asshole that trashed your place, the one who's responsible anyway, goes by the name Rosnar. He's a real piece of work.
He'll probably be by here later tonight. I'll talk to him then.
He certainly will. Spit in his fucking ale for me, would you?
He gives you a little nod as a salute. Absolutely.
So are we going over to talk to Cousin Deagle right now?
Yes, Nasir. Should we go to the guards or the magistrate mayor?
Deagle's basically the closest thing this place has got to a mayor.
See.
Ultimately, I'd assume we could talk to the guards, and they'll probably tell us we're gonna have to talk to Deagle. So
Well, we
either
should
or,
probably talk to the guards first, not skip any steps.
sure. Well, let's do that. Maybe we can find that one guy at the entrance to town.
Orden says, we could always just kill him. No? Ah,
No.
shit.
Where's my overview?
We can, remember if we kill him, then that little box ain't no use, right?
Yeah, I know, but it would feel so good, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately now I'm kind of on the let's kill him, because if he's just going to come after us, even though we got the box, then I get the feeling that basically his life ain't worth nothing to us anyhow. Although if we're really set on killing him, then I think there's better ways to go around screwing him, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you guys just tell me when you're ready, because eventually, someday, and he'll turn around and he'll point at Rakir and say, even you will want him dead. He's got this knack for making people fucking hate him.
Well, it's
yeah,
not
It's
that
true.
I don't get me confused. I don't like him.
He's been in your life longer than anybody else so far.
We could just as we're walking, Nasir will just be like, we just upright sell that box to the highest bidder. Let them deal with him.
It's my favorite piece of anything.
Yeah,
Get it straight into the dragon.
as
You
long as
should
we
toss it to a middle of a volcano.
don't know what that would do. But I do know
I
that
just like to learn how to use it.
Just shake it around a little bit.
Oh, he does that on the regular, just in case it rattles his brains. Just reaches in the bag of holding and shakes the living shit out of it, and then drops it again.
problem is if you probably keep the box and try and use it, but either way we can't let him keep summoning demons on top of us. That's just that can't be a thing. That we're fucked.
James,
It's
please,
just-
that
it's our-
can't be a thing.
That's just our thing. It just happens.
Just
What time is it? Oh, that time.
Yeah, demon o'clock. No, that's nope, not having that
We'll get
anymore.
really good at fighting him eventually, I imagine.
Yep.
What if it's the same demon every time? We could build some kind of relationship maybe with it.
Bargain a little bit.
I saw him down there with three casters, and if they're powerful enough to summon something like that, then that means it ain't cheap. Then Roslinger's got
Oh,
lots
yes.
of money to throw.
Couldn't we
there.
just sell, give the soul eater the
Yes.
soul in the box?
Nasir, the children mentioned that there were multiple casters in town.
I'd imagine that all of them are down there except for Heather.
Okay, I'll let you guys move your way over that way while I'm going to bounce over to Mal for a bit here. Are you still around here, Rob? Curious if you wanted off. Yeah, okay. It's one curious if you're still here. Okay, just want to double check.
I'm listening.
Okay. We're going to go somewhere.
All right.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we'll go tell the guard, then we'll go to the magistrate probably after that, and we'll see what happens.
Cool.
I wouldn't be into challenging him to anyone to a duel, because that's probably not going to accomplish much.
I mean, more worse, we'll probably have the fight than the fucking his little red half dragon guy.
Yeah.
we'll have to
I'll
fight.
kill him too.
We'll have to fight,
Exactly.
we'll have to fight whoever he decides he can hire. We could also tell him that all the since they were involved, all three of the mages could be ones we could accuse as well if we wanted to try and take them on and kill them.
I'd be into punching a mage, I suppose.
Of course, I don't know how they'd handle it. I don't know if we'd have to fight them all at once, or if that would make everything more complicated. It might be good, might be bad if we accused all of them.
I forgot if you say you can fight in little in teams.
Hey kid.
Oh yeah.
That's right, James isn't
Yeah,
here.
James, yeah.
He's not here.
All world is gone. We're at a stall.
Because I want to know the exact details of how this works when there's multiple offenders and multiple wounded parties.
Yeah, this doesn't
Yeah,
seem like a great legal system to base your stuff around.
No, it's
Yeah, and
terrible.
if you get to choose your champion, he doesn't get to summon another champion, right? Because single combat with one of those fuckers just would not work.
Oh, you'd be death. Yeah, death sentence.
Is it single combat or is it I don't know how? That's the other thing. I don't know how you choose sides. Is just you get to throw as many people as you want into there, or what?
Yeah, it's just something that we don't know the specifics of.
Yeah, could we just all dogpile in there and just basically eliminate his champions? That wouldn't really benefit us much.
That'd be funny, I guess.
I mean, actually, it might be a way to get. Cause remember, one of the ways to get the hag's attention, potentially, is if we fight well, and she basically notices us. Then she might basically might give us a brief interview. That's one of the ways we can actually get access to her. So basically, by fighting Rosnar's champions and doing well, we might actually earn that. Although I don't know if that's at all reliable. We also get to take whatever we kill stuff. So if they have anything good, we'll get it. But if it's just me summon demons and lackeys, that will probably be nothing but medical bills.
Yes, but if they summon demons and lackeys, we can kill them in a pretty showy way, right? So
yeah, possibly. And if nothing else, we basically we make a show of basically how dangerous we are, which means that anyone else who Rosnar would want to hire in this town would be a little more leery of basically getting caught up in Rosnar's hijinks if they knew that basically we might just be called upon to murder them.
yeah. I think if Thorn eats a guy in the arena, I feel like that would be pretty threatening.
Bite its head off.
Or it says, "Ooh, yeah, let's do that." You're okay with that, right, Thorn?
I mean, I've never had person before, but I mean, I'm down for anything.
What if you find out you like the taste?
Then you sleep with one eye open.
Ooh, what if it's his red buddy? That's kind of cannibalistic, isn't it?
It's weird. There we
Ah,
go.
They're
that'd be
different types of
disgusting.
dragons. They taste differently.
There you
I'm
go.
sure.
Thorin can start from the head, and Orden can start from the kneecaps. Just eat them all the way up.
Oh, we're like a cannibal team then.
I only eat cooked meat. I'd have to fireball him a few times first.
Oh, is that what gives Copperlock's hair that sheen?
Hey, don't you talk about Copperlocks.
She's
Yes,
just a cooked meat. That's all.
Are you seriously saying that?
Yep.
Orden is going to attack you with his fists.
Hey, stop that! Stop that!
Oh God.
Please. Nobody punch each other today.
That's a fucking tact. Don't talk shit about Copperlock. She's not here. She'd kick your fucking ass if she were.
Yeah. Yep. She can kick my ass when she sees me next if we're still alive.
Yeah, if you got the balls to say that to her face, I wouldn't.
Copperlocks is that barmaid he's fond of, isn't it?
Oh, she's the mind boss.
She runs the mine.
Wait, where did that come from? Was that just a random background noise?
Yeah, that was just background noise.
I wonder if James was
I
actually
can't believe people are booing us in the streets. The gods of this place really gotta get rid of those wolf problem in the forest.
Is it a problem or is it a feature?
I suppose it keeps out anyone they don't want.
I'm assuming that room he climbed out of, Rosnar's, either the stables, the drug den, or one of these houses over here, though.
Wait, say it again.
He said Rosnar climbed out of the burnt area. I'm assuming it's either the drug den or one of these three little burnt houses over here. Because we walked through the stables.
Yeah, that's a good question. I should have James mention that, so we can mark it on the map.
Marked it on your minimap.
I assume it's one of the
Place a
ones,
waypoint.
one of the ones to the south of the Pearl Inn would be my guess.
Alright, well, while they're doing that, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna go put some beans on the stove.
It's a good use of time. Go finish up my emboldening bond icon. Is that a spell or is that basically a ranger ability?
Cleric ability.
What?
Peace cleric. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading that one up the other day.
Cleric?
Yeah, first level peace cleric ability.
Okay, so you multi-classed.
And it stacks with bless.
Nice, badass.
That's what makes a peace the game breaker, right?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Well, basically, a lot of the game relies on the counted accuracy. So a lot of people say that peace cleric is kind of broken because their ability stacks with bless. So if you've got that plus bless, you're getting like a lot of extra to all your attack rolls, which is really good.
I could see that. Never thought about it.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Am I clear?
You much better now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I had to adjust my mic. Weird thing is that I can't actually hear the problem, but if I go and do like a mic check in Discord, then I can hear it.
Huh. God, that thing really fucked me up.
Yeah, what was that? Let's say like 40 odd damage in a round.
Yeah, but it took half my health point. So I was at 62. I'm sitting at 38 as my max right now.
Yep, it could. It's evil, and supposedly, and there doesn't seem like there's any cooldown on that ability, so you can just keep doing it. Which
Yeah,
means
that thing was wicked.
yeah, it can easily basically just drain you down, kill you, or at least knock you unconscious, and it's going to be getting like serious hit points back every single turn.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, which makes me kind of worried that like I wonder if we just basically need better weapons because it seems like a lot of people weren't hitting it at full strength. So I wonder if there's anything we can do about that to fix it. I don't think we can do anything for Odo because as Odo pointed out, there's no way we're going to be getting like several dozen magical javelins anytime soon.
Unless you
Again,
felt there's a javelin of returning or something like that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, I just gotta find one.
Yeah, finally that probably helped you solve that issue.
It'd cost you a bit, but we can silver a bunch of your javelins. That would effectively give them the magic or magic ability against, I think, most critters if they're
That's very true
silver.
as well.
Only the ones that say are affected with silver, which, from my experience, aren't many.
Most
I was under the
creatures.
impression if it was a silvered weapon, it counted as magical for that purpose.
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope. It only counts for basically things that are basically affected. There are like silver is a few creatures, adamantium or a few creatures, but most of the creatures are basically magic or just straight magic, which silver and adamantium actually don't count as.
Given enough time, Orton could make you some, but you'd need way more than he could make, or we'd need way more downtime than we're gonna get.
Like an artificer. Could an artificer make a returning? I think an artificer can.
Yeah. Yep. He'd have to use one of his infusions for it, though.
Yeah, because it's not actually a magical item you could make. It's only an infusion, right?
Right. reading about that emboldening bond because I wasn't familiar with it. And I think where it evens out or balances out is it looks like you can only use the emboldening bond on one attack per round. So if you get multiple attacks, you have to choose which one. Whereas Bless just works on everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's especially good if you have less attacks. But yeah,
So that first
there are
attack would be
limitations.
the doubled up one.
Yep.
It's whatever one you choose.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's
It
true. It's
matters.
choose.
really good if you want to make absolutely sure like one of them lands.
All right. Well, we're
If you're a
good
rogue.
after that. So I will see you guys in take about 8 minutes, and we'll be right back together.
All right.
And is you guys you have is that death toll one? Is something to save the dead?
That say what that again?
Don't you have the thing that can bring people back from the dead or something like that on? Would you have an 8-hour thing on Mal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Basically, if he would die, essentially the spell's consumed, and he basically comes back with 1 hit point, so it never dies. Doesn't die.
okay. Cool. All right. That might have made it. All right. Thanks. See you guys in a couple minutes.
I damn near counterspelled when he said they disappeared. But
No.
I'm like, well, Mel wanted it to happen, so we'll let it go. I was afraid something like this would happen, though.
All right. All right. I'll see you guys in 7 minutes. Let's get back together at the top of the hour.
All right, yeah, there.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Hope it was worth it, Mel.
I knew it was coming as well.
All right.
We're taking a break this year until 8 o'clock.
All right. I just came back because I've been watching the chat on my phone, so I figured if everyone's back in the same chat, I should probably come back for a bit.
Yeah, James just popped in. He said we're taking a break.
All right.
Some things have happened.
What has happened to Mal?
He's rolled a death save. Looks like I don't know what happened though.
Holy shit. That'd be man, I'd feel real bad if this necromancer ate him or something.
I mean, he wanted the snoo, so
It's true. But
besides, he's got the get out of jail free card at least once.
even if he wants the snoo, he doesn't deserve to die from it. Unless it was real good, I suppose.
Yep. So basically, pretty much any damage or effect can be negated that would kill him will be negated. It's like the one good thing that Undying Warlock has, so I'm going to use it.
Nice.
By the one good thing, I almost literally mean that. Like so far, I think my like 3rd level ability has come up maybe once.
And which ability is that?
Basically, undead ignore me.
Yeah, we haven't fought many of those.
We have. We actually have fought a significant amount of undead, but it never actually mattered. It's basically a sanctuary effect, a automatic sanctuary effect against undead, which you'd think would be great, but
Yeah, we used that when you were on the Isle. I think.
Yeah, I think we actually rolled it like once.
Yeah, because it was mobs, creatures, and they went off to attack someone else since they couldn't attack you.
Yep.
The tabletop audio has a new Cthulhu soundtrack area.
Oh, just just like
Cthulhu sounds.
oh, nice. Is that by default? It just added in as an update.
They just added it in recently. This is like, here's a little investigator's office background.
Cool.
Oh, they have good whispers.
Oh yeah, James.
Mhm.
The since he went back to the Pearl, I assume I can pretty much basically ID which building he came out of once I got my bearings.
Yes, he was over in the crack house, the building underneath it.
Oh, the drug den.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
there was something underneath the dreg den. And now you know where the actual secret door is as well. There's a hidden secret door in there, or panel on the floor. Well, I'll use that one. That's a good sound. Well, holler when you're back. I'm going to keep playing my noise sound effects till you do. Hey, Adam, you still there?
Yes.
How's your work game going?
Eh,
Without giving you any details on it.
not really that great. We've actually released it at this point. It's into early access on Steam, but it's basically still an alpha, so we haven't gotten any traction, unfortunately,
Oh,
because it's not really what people would kind of expect. Essentially, all the games that are released nowadays on early access are really like late betas. Like they're basically essentially the complete, but they just need more content added.
mm,
This game is not there yet, so we also had a lot of trouble finding any kind of like publishers or backers or any kind of outside money to help us out. So
fine. Weird times.
yeah, I'm thinking within the next couple months, I'm going to start looking for another job to make my primary income, because basically the guy is basically funding all this out of his pocket essentially.
Oh, and that will come to an end eventually. Yeah,
That will
that's
come.
not sustainable.
Correct. He said it will come to an end by basically the end of spring. So I'm going to start looking earlier. Still going to help. Still going to basically do it as like a side gig as long as I can. But I still going to need some primary income change soon. So
Yep.
that's
That's all
going
like
to
a
be fun.
contractor type of thing, I guess. Then, huh?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. I had friends back in the old construction days, and they would have to deal with that crap. But you're always working yourself out of a job, anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if things had gone better, and if we actually like turned into like a full time gig with funding and everything, then this could have been like a lifestyle change. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So you have to find something else to do
Hopefully,
as a
next
career.
project, sure.
Yep. So that'll be fun for the spring.
Well, hopefully the market stays similar and you'll have some opportunities.
Yeah, but right now it definitely seems to be basically like like the workers definitely have the leg up as far as basically hiring in most cases.
Yeah, I can't wait till we negotiate our contract this year.
Do you think that's going to go well?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. That's what I keep hearing. Our rep is working next to me now. He got a position right next to me. So, um, yeah, it sounds like they've already started. Informal. So
Okay, cool. Do
we'll
you,
see.
how often do you guys renegotiate?
Every 3 years or so, 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so this just happens to be really good timing for the environment.
Yeah, and it was during the pandemic. It was kind of cool that everyone was really worked really well with each other. So it was, and there isn't really a big animosity in the groups. Not like there was when when I was working in Alaska. That was just, it seemed like it was just total us versus them mentality up there, which is ridiculous. But
Okay, so
yeah,
so you think they see the school district and the union will actually sort of play nice and
yeah,
try and actually get to
yeah,
come to an accommodation?
yeah,
Nice, that's awesome.
yeah. I think it's gonna be good.
It's less chance of it getting like stalled forever, having to deal
Right.
with like strikes or other ridiculousness.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nope, I got a relaunch game. Damn it.
Damn.
So it looks like you all wandered up. There's problem with this free range thing you guys can do is I have to find you now.
We're all over by the knockers.
No, I'm chasing around the map. Going, where the hell did they go?
Well, I don't have a token out, so I don't know where you want me to go.
Oh, that's right. Well, once the map comes back up, I will.
So does it put their icon on the map?
Well, what you have to do on that one is you
Screen
actually
map?
you have to take a copy of everybody's token that they're going to be using for the game, and then drop them onto the GM layer or somewhere on the map. And then what it does is it gives them control of that one and moves it to the location of the transporter,
But
and
like when you
puts
do
them
your
on the right
pull
layer.
down, will it show their little tag on the map that they're on?
Oh, when I see the page thing,
Yeah.
because that's part of the Roll20. Yeah, I can see that everybody's there, even though the player flag is still back on Jake's place. But you all are now on the overview map.
Huh. Weird.
I'll
So I
do a
guess it basically,
screenshot.
so I guess it breaks us out individually then permanently.
Yes, until I go and drag you all back onto the player map again.
Oh shit.
I mean, it's it's API hack, so as good
Yep.
as it's going to get.
Oh, that's cool.
So how is the what's it called? How's the Foundry stuff going?
Good. It's pretty much ready to roll. The only thing I need to work on is I'm just trying to get my internet connection better up here. It's
Oh.
just a little slow, and so I'm going to get some repeaters, and because there's Ethernet here wired, but that's only going to get me up to 100, and I think the wireless these days is better than 100.
Really? Huh. That's so weird.
Because it's old cabling, 10100, isn't that what the old Ethernet is?
Fair.
So, but I'll have an electrician. Plus, it's not my house, but I think I'm gonna have an electrician come out anyways. It's the wiring in the house. Actually, it was Cat5 cable used for phone lines,
Uh,
and so I'm just gonna bring an electrician out and have him switch it.
yeah, I guess whoever lived here last was definitely not a computer nerd.
Exactly, and so. And I doubt many people these days are using Cat5 for their home phone lines for the next tenant, so I'm not going to worry about switching it back when I leave. I'll just leave a note in there so someone knows what I did if they ever go looking. Dear electrician, here's what happened.
And it's nicer than a lot of people do.
Yep.
Well, that's where I lucked out, is that I'm able to get 300 up or down here, so I'm not too worried. But there is a fiber running right in front of my house, but no one will let me tap into it.
Yes, that was the nice part about living in Jersey. I think the last place I lived, I was getting 1500 up and down.
Yeah.
Nice.
We had some ridiculously good internet.
Waco was that way weirdly. It was a test market.
Huh.
And so Waco was a test market for AT&T. And so they had the fiber optics there for like 2-3 years now. It's also because Tesla's out that way and SpaceX is out there
Ah.
outside
Huh.
of Waco. And
Convenient.
so yeah.
When I was living in Chicago, I was like microwave or whatever, point to point, and they got up to a gig, and it was a test, like you were saying, a test thing, and then of course we moved and lost it all.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually when I was in college, they actually must have had some kind of weird test bed going on because what the dorms like back in like the late 90s
Mhm.
all had T1 lines.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's like that was super expensive for the time, and
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why they gave like just randomly gave all the students like T1 connections. Like the internet was barely a thing. Like almost nobody had a computer in the first place. We all went to to the labs to do stuff for the most part anyway.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
Gordon,
that
you
would be
back yet?
no good.
You hear Matt?
Yeah, I never left.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. So don't worry about Mal. I was just messing with you. He's fine. They're having a romantic night.
I'm not dead yet.
There's a story there.
Yeah.
DMs don't typically say roll me a death save if it's just
I-
roll me a
it
death
was
save to fuck with your buddies.
exactly what actually happened. Is I saw Adam put that thing over there saying, "Oh, make a con save to keep it going all night." And I'm like, "Oh, make a death save,"
I'm like, yes. Nice. It's nicely done.
because they're seeing that and they can't hear it. Make a death save.
And especially with the natural one. That
And
was
then he rolled a 1, so we
Yeah.
just died laughing, and then decided we'd cut off and leave you all sweating.
That's awesome.
So anyway, but he unfortunately, I'm going to see if we can wrap through this quickly here, so we can get everybody back on the same timeline. Otherwise, Rob's just going to be hanging and listening to everybody all night.
I'm good. I'm having fun.
So, you guys, looks like everybody else is back up there by the knockers now. And you're heading on up. You pass by the magistrate. You see the little stone circle. Place is starting to get busier now the sun's going down. It looks like this place is a nightlife town. And you can see folks wandering in, crossing the river, and so forth. What do you want to do?
Where's the guard?
There's a couple people here, actually. And in the evening, you see there's about... Looks like you may have come during the changing of the guard. There's a big group of guys. You hear them talking about the demon and that it's gone. And there's probably about 16 people here hanging around the outside of this place. I don't want to drop tokens on there unless we goes into combat. But there is about 3 or 4. There's 3 ogres, a bunch of folks, some rough-looking guys. And there's about 16 of them here. One group is filling in. The guy you talked with this morning, Derek, is there. He's filling in the night crew about what's going on. And that's where you come walking on up.
Let's see. Nasir, do you want to take it from here?
So he looks around at all the guards, thinks to himself, says, Rakir, you do the talking. Sorry. Rakir, you do the talking. I'm going to back you up.
Oh, okay. Well then I'll walk up. Excuse me.
Some person, you obviously a spellcaster you've never seen before, stops you talking to everybody, and when you hear the other guy's Derek goes, "Oh yeah, that's the guys I was telling you about." And he turns around, looks over to you, comes wandering over. You think he
Yes.
might be a druid.
We had a demon attack us recently.
They all
Of some
16
kind.
people look over at you on that one. Well, 16 minus the 3 ogres. They don't know what's going on. So the 13 of them look over. So it was after you, the druid says.
Yes. We'd like to make a report, I suppose.
We'd like to smash the fucker's face that sent it, truth be told.
A couple of them laugh on that one.
Yes.
Well, that could be arranged, but there's only smashing around here. It gets done by us.
Yes. We. So I basically recount what happened, and then I say, and then we believe it was sent by a fellow, a Rosnar.
Yo, we know it was sent by Rosnar because
Yes.
I saw him using magic. And I'll attest to that.
One of them, you heard one of them
Yes.
cross their figures.
So
one of them goes, "Someone called the Dreagle." And there's a blur of motion, something you didn't notice was there, but now is gone type of thing. It just sort of flashes by. And they go back. Dreagle will be here. You talk to him. Tell the details.
thank you.
What was that?
Oh, Faye. One of them realizes what you're talking about.
So you got some invisible watchers on your side. That's smart, real smart. He says as he looks around at the party to make sure they get the gist of that.
Not so much invisible as in really damn fast, one of them laughs. The door flies open over there, and you see that person, Rakir, who you've recognized before because you almost walked into his house. The little guy comes stomping up this way. He's about 4'2", a little bit bent over. Looks like if you shrunk a bodybuilder down to about 4'2" and then made him 80 years old.
Oh my
All
god.
right.
That's quite the picture.
Thanks. Was working on that one for you. And so he comes grumbling on up there, tattoos and snarling type of thing. The face said there's something
Yeah.
going on.
Yes. We had a demon attack us recently.
Saw that.
Is there something? Is there something you can do about the person who sent the demon after us?
Do you think they're here?
We know they're there. They're here.
He raises
We
one
know at
eyebrow.
least some of them are here.
All of
What
them.
am I looking for?
All of them are here. And do you mind if I use a little bit of magic?
Oh, of course not.
All right, here goes. And and will recount basically everything he saw, basically, one by one. He'll basically show an image of the summoning circle, an image of each of the casters, an image of the knoll chained to the wall, an image of Rosnar as he shows him, and then an image of basically the crack house, basically like the crack house with basically, he'll point inside the illusion to show him where the ladder is going down there, and then show basically a still image of basically of Rosnar inside his room at the Pearl, explaining the situation, all in full color and detail and animation.
Little guy's brow furrows as you can tell looks like he's getting a little angry, and his fists squeeze tight, and you can hear him sort of cracking and the knuckles cracking. Bastards! They did this under my city. And you hear the crows all over that you can sort of see from his house all take flight in one single motion as all of them fly up into the sky into a big swirl and then sort of turn into a cyclone and start scattering across the city in every direction, making squawking, hawking noises as they go flying everywhere. We'll take care of this then.
So we from what I've been told by the children here, we got some claim on basically a challenge in this one since he done hurt us. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
All right then. Once, hey, where are we staying at? You want to get room? Want to get rooms at the Pearl, or want to go up to the creek side since Rosnar ain't there.
Yes, I believe we were staying at the place near the inn or the bar that we went to.
That's where Rosnar is now.
Yeah. Then well, I suppose we could go to the first place.
The creek side, and he sort of hooks a thumb over his shoulder at the one next door.
Yes.
All right. Once you get, we'll be staying there if you need us. Would you, once you deal with him in your own way, would you kindly let us know?
I'll let you know. I don't know how kind I'll be about it.
Well,
His little hand points out towards the creek. You see the creek? Cross it, and he points back over his shoulder, and the hounds will come for you. You stay here in town until you go before Auntie.
Gordon looks at him and says, "Don't suppose you want to deputize a similarly statured buddy?" And he winks and cracks his knuckles.
Let's see how you deal with Auntie first, and we'll talk employment.
And just so you know, if things go well, maybe there'll be a little bit extra in there for you. And he quickly prestidigitates basically a whiff of basically fresh spiced baklava in the air around them all.
Okay.
Basically just sweet honey and spice with a puff pastry that he used to steal from the vendors as a child, right in front of this guy who loves sweets.
Yes, you see his eyes close and his nose is sort of flares open big and wide. Just sort of sucks it in sort of a creepy type of manner as he inhales it like he's devouring it. Oh,
Ew.
that smells so good. Yeah, I think I understand why I don't have children now. Anyway, and stay in the creek side. Yeah, good place. Safer than most.
Yep, we'll do then.
And he starts pointing to the guys and barking out something in some language, which you think might be undercommon. And they start splitting up. And you hear him yell out, "Found one!" And a couple of them go rushing off. Send the quick legs, and you see that blur again.
Oh.
And then it gets quiet around here for a while, as most everybody else disappears, and there's one or two of the guys sit back down here watching the Dreagle. You can tell even the ogre looks a little worried looking at the Dreagle. They all sort of keep an eye on what he's doing.
Does he look like he's basically Does he look like we've been dismissed, or does he want us to kind of just hang around while he?
I would just call it dismissed, as he hasn't even looked at you in like the last couple of minutes.
Right. He knows where to find us. Like,
Yeah, he even said the Creekside's a fine place.
all right, fellas. Let's go get some rooms and see what happens.
I suppose if we can't crack his bloody skull, at least we know it's being cracked.
He'll get his. Don't you worry.
I know. I just want to be the one to give it to him.
Oh yeah, that we'll arrange that someday.
All right, where are you guys? What, you gonna head on in and call our night for that place, or?
At least get rooms before it gets too late.
Yeah.
We'll keep Gary on the corner there, just keeping an eye out.
Yeah. I'm actually going to send.
They got one guy.
I'm actually going to send the wisp over to the pearl to actually watch and see what happens with Rosnar, because I want to see how this goes down.
Okay. So yeah, the only thing to add on that then before we roll into the morning is that some point in the night, as you watching it over on Rosnar, is a priest of types comes wandering in, a cleric, over to his room, knocks on his door, wakes him up, and explains to him the situation, that he can't leave town, that charges are being brought against him, and that if he even tries to leave the town or the dimension, that the hounds will be set on him. And then he looks a little nervous, and the cleric does something, and Rosnar glares at him and said, curses at the guy, and he says, "Just insurance. Be there tomorrow. Auntie's moving the day up." And then the guy leaves. And then Rosnar looks scared as hell.
Fucking good.
Nice.
All right. Well, night goes by uneventful. You guys get rooms in the creek side. The half dragon that was there left. He took off. So that place is actually empty, but one room, so you can have anywhere you want in the place.
Oh, the Dragonborn is still there?
Yeah, he's a half dragon, but no, he left.
Yeah, half dragon. All right. Okay.
Asking the lady, she said he took off about an hour after you all. As soon as you all left, he started packing up and moving and taking off. And then the next morning, Mal magically appears in the living room and downstairs in the kitchen area.
Hey, everybody.
Let me get you on. I never did get you a token. You've just been staring at black, haven't you?
That's okay.
PC.
The one's gonna wave at me.
Hey, you salty sea dog. How'd your night go?
It was great. Heather's an awesome person. And I invited her back to the mansion sometime when she's in town. She said she'd be happy to help us out if we ever need a little hand, and we're just gonna meet up next time we're back in Saltmarsh. She also told me some crazy stuff, like I guess the armor is a little bit funky. She's the one who brought it into town, and it said talk to her, so I think it's talking. And then like when I woke up, I could have sworn I heard 3 other voices in my head, and they were all talking, and they were saying, "Hey, ha ha ha, we're all all together now. It's great. And there's more of us. And I'm like, what? Hey guys, how you doing? And then there was nothing, absolutely nothing. They didn't respond except for Rappy. He said some, hi, how you doing? And then wouldn't answer my question. So I think they're kind of plotting against me, but that's okay. We've got a lot to do today, don't we? How'd you guys do?
I mean, okay, I guess.
So are you telling
It's
us
kind of explained
you
out.
might be possessed?
No, I'm not possessed at all. I'm me. It's just me.
But you're hearing voices.
No, well, I mean, yeah,
I mean, we all hear voices sometimes, but
yeah, especially if your armor
We
and
do?
sword and your
yeah, no,
cloak and your helmet can talk.
yeah, you got a lot of going on, my friend. And Thorn's gonna
Wait.
wave his hand. Do a drink, sir.
Oh, by the way, hey Odo, here, I want to give you this, and he'll hand over the ring of spell storing.
And any particular reason?
Well, one, you were so kind to me, and you introduced me to this armor, which I still don't know his name. Do you have a name yet? Do you want me to talk to? He kind of turns his head to the side. Do you want me to call you something or anything? I mean, no. Okay. Anyway, and you were so nice to me and bought this, and I really appreciate it. And also, I can't wear it anymore.
Let me guess. The armor force you to attune to it. Now you can't use the ring, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that was probably the one that couldn't talk. That's probably why it just popped off my finger. But yeah, that's kind of I think what happened.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome, and thank you. There's a detect magic and a let's see, what was the other one, Orden, that you put on there? Dispel, I think, on there too.
I don't know. Remember what you asked me.
He says, yeah, no, definitely it was yeah, what was it was let's see. Yeah, detect a dispel, I'm pretty sure. So Odo, it's a ring of spell storing. And it's not his to really give away, but he was using it. He's like, I know you can cast spells, and maybe I might need it, but or whoever, but I thought you could use it since I'm not.
So it just popped off?
Well,
Yeah,
I couldn't really sense it anymore. I couldn't figure out, it wouldn't do anything anymore.
So
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay as much as I can be.
So yeah, if those if all those items that were speaking to you all of a sudden start being the ones to make all the decisions for you, you're going to let us know, right?
Yeah, just strip me naked.
Well, if it gets to that point, I don't think they're going to let that happen. So just be prepared.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to talk to him. I mean, I'm not upset with him. I think it'd be awesome to have some friends on the road too. I mean, aside from you guys, of course, and maybe they could talk to you guys too, and we could all get together and accomplish even more things.
how is the helmet sentient all of a sudden? Or
I
did you
haven't
miss
got
the
a
beat?
clue because I haven't talked to the cloak either, and I heard it going talking to somebody else. It was a little disconcerting, I gotta say.
And for him, a little disconcerting. He's like, shit your pants level.
Yes. But Rappy it was a little evasive this morning, but I think they're just kind of getting to know each other. That's my guess, really.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You put both feet in it this time, boy.
Thorn's gonna start snapping his fingers.
There's drinks.
I'll have a drink.
Yeah, they're
Boy.
for you.
So after the demon, after you guys check in, the rest of the guest in the hotel, the one other person, checks out once they find out that you guys have been attacked by a demon today, and you have the hotel to yourself. Or the inn, I should call it a hotel.
It's not an everyday thing.
No, and some people are muttering about afraid of a second occurrence.
Are we bad for business?
So, well, you guys are having breakfast now. They're setting up breakfast for you and all, and eventually, some guy comes wandering on in. You recognize is from the night shift last night. Says, "You're all here." You think it's that druid who was chatting with I think it was Rakir's earlier or something.
This
Well-
is where we said we'd be.
Well, he'd laugh. I honestly didn't think you'd stay. But yeah, I'm glad you did, because the hounds would have got you. They're terrible. But anyways, you guys must be special. There's going to be a special event today. Auntie's moved her whole thing up. Normally the arena's tomorrow. She's moved it up to today. I guess either you or this Rosnar joke must all be good friends with her, because she knows who you are and wants to see you right away.
That's what the priest was talking about. I see.
So,
Well, so
ask the kids here to take you up there by noon.
well, you got some time to talk to us, maybe? Since we're a little unfamiliar with the town and we don't know how this whole try by combat thing happens. So if we could anything you could tell us now to help us prepare, that'd be mighty nice of you.
Sure.
Here,
They
come on. Look,
put you in. He puts you in the middle of the big arena, and the gong goes off, and there's a fight. Now, sometimes though, people, especially like these rich guy you're dealing with, won't be actually having to deal with him directly. He'll end up paying someone else, so you'll have to deal with them instead. In fact, he might not even be there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm asking.
Yeah, but if you beat it, you beat him. Whatever he puts forward, if you beat whatever he puts forward, then you win. It's just like you beat him. And then whatever after that, then you win the arrangement and you get the decision. It's all up, then you get to go.
Oh,
and you don't die.
Oh, but here's the thing. So decision what? So we beat whoever he hires. That means we get to keep all the stuff of the people that were in the arena.
Yeah.
What about Rosnar? Do we get a piece of him?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Absolutely. It's as if you beat him.
I see. So we can decide whether he lives or dies, and we get to do whatever we want with his stuff.
Enslave him, sell him, do what you want. Of course, there might be retribution outside of this town, but that has nothing to do with us.
All right, then. That sounds as fair as it's going to get, I guess. All right, just wondering, as he says, but I'm going to look at this guy. Is he wearing any kind of official stuff? Or does he look like a knocker, or he's just
Yes. That's a good point. Let's give them all a badge. So all the knockers then have a red armband with a hammer on it.
Right. As he's saying that, basically, you see basically that it's some gold pieces sort of basically like appear between his fingers, sort of down below the table level, but where this guy can see him. So just it'd be really helpful if we could know what we're getting into there, because he could be hiring anyone to help him in the arena. A little bit of foreknowledge would go a long way for our chances, right?
Go ahead and make a charisma roll of some sort. You can make an advantage though.
For persuasion, I assume.
Yeah, that'd be fine enough.
Gary's picked up English.
I know, it's just saying.
Yeah.
Orton's just listening to Seer. Gary alights on your shoulder and just starts talking as if it were nothing.
Yeah.
Oh God, everybody can talk now. Are we in the Fae?
Right,
So yeah, he looks at the coins, puts them in his pocket, looks over his shoulder. All right, there's going to be something special for you. This bastard arranged for these guys a while back. He's had them stored out in the woods for a while. Dragged them out once before. It's these, God knows where he found them, but it's a pair of stone giants.
Oh, gotcha.
Is that all?
Jesus.
And he bids. Well, if there's just a group of you guys, I imagine it'll be a pretty good run for it. The one advantage, though, they're crazy as hell. They've been up on top surface here way too long, and they're just not normal anymore. He sort of chuckles.
Wait, you say stone giants normally live under the ground?
Oh, yeah. In the mountains, in the caves.
Oh, I gotcha. So they've been down here too long.
They've been out here too long. They don't normally like it up on top.
Huh.
And they get a little weird the longer they've been out here.
I guess that's a thing.
He shrugs.
All right, well, now, if you want to come have a little bit of breakfast with us, you're more than welcome.
No, that's okay. Until this is done, I don't really want to be too associated with you.
Yep, understandable. Well,
Can't blame him.
I guess you'll see what we can do in short order. When do we need to be there?
By noon.
Good. All right. That it is then.
The kids will tell you where.
Yep. Good day to you.
Nods and heads out.
What time is it now?
Breakfast, 7.
Yeah.
We'll say.
All right, fellas. So we got basically not quite half a day to decide how we're going to take out two crazy ass stone giants, whatever those are. Anyone got an idea what stone giants can do? I sure as hell don't.
Probably
Ooh,
throw
it makes
stones.
Throw some nature rolls out there for those who have the proficiencies.
They can burn. Bet you they can do that.
Yeah,
So what, you turn them into lava giants?
That'd be cool.
I assume they're not actually made of stone. At least I hope they're not. That sounds hard to kill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be vexing. I bet you stone wouldn't burn, would it?
Well, but pickaxes work well on stone. Maybe that'd work on them.
So, does anyone actually have the nature proficiency?
I'm looking.
I do not.
I do.
The ranger.
Nice.
Hope the ranger.
Nope.
All right, so can we all fool our
You can all
noggins?
make them. I'm just going to knock the DC up for those who don't have a proficiency.
I'll
Okay.
cast guidance on our ranger.
Yeah, I don't think. Would these be the kind of creatures that there'd be like myths and stories about that could be heard, like in a
Yeah.
major city? Okay,
Yeah.
and I'll roll. That's reasonable.
Yeah, as I was just going to change the DC up. It's just different.
Now it's well traveled, so I'll try it.
No stone giants down in the desert.
Nope.
Not
Or
for
no.
this year.
Toss his hand in the ring. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
The call.
Okay, Orden, you do know of them, especially from your dwarven background, is that the stone giants are artisans, and that's why the dwarves know them. They highly respect them. They're normally very kind, not kind, but they don't mess with people if people don't mess with them. They're not interested in life above the earth. Occasionally, though, they have to go wandering, and people will see them out there. Not the biggest and brightest are ever sent out. The artisans stay home, so it's usually the thugs that are sent out to go do on some mission, and they go a bit crazy. You do know, though, that some of them actually can have the power to petrify people. You don't really know how. Maybe it's touch or something. You know it's not gaze. And that's all we really know about them. Let me see if there's anything. I'll bring up their character sheet, resistance-wise.
Everything that James is saying right now, Orden
course.
is saying to the party.
And
Well, I don't care about their preferences, but
yeah, they like rock music. Oh, I should have just typed in stone. There's a lot of stone critters. Okay, here we go. Nope, that's about it. No resistance that you know of. They're just big. 20 some odd feet tall. And can throw things with pinpoint accuracy.
As Orden's explaining all this, he's saying it as if, like, with a wave of the hand, like, it's no big deal. We'll take them out. They're big, but nothing we can't handle.
I see.
Anyone know
So
what
it's
the
not.
arena
So,
looks like?
so they're not very threatening then.
Well, I
Just
mean,
loud.
maybe for a normal person, but not for us.
Well, that's good then.
Plus, I mean, you can grow to about their size, damn near.
I suppose.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to break out all the stops for this one.
If I would have
Yes.
known last night, I could have prepared a way to make someone else grow. Maybe have a giant dragonborn. Oh wait, I do. I do have the ability to do that. One time, I have a scroll.
So it's a one-on-one versus the stone giant then.
Two of them.
Two stone giants.
Yeah, I think it's
Yep,
all
there's two
of
of 'em.
us versus two crazy stone giants. So
Those enchantments from Billy would have faded away by now, right?
No, they were for a while, weren't they? Like to the next moon or something.
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're meant to be for this whole adventure, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. Good thing.
What did they do again? Because I don't remember.
Everybody got different things.
Yeah, I get a helmet of awareness, so I get advantage on initiative, and it can't be surprised.
No, don't forget that one.
Oh, that's right. The infusions, effectively.
Yep.
Yeah,
fusion.
basically.
I did have a
Oh,
javelin
yes,
of
yes.
returning. Fuck.
Oh,
You're like, oh, that's right, the one that Billy gave me. Shit.
I forgot. I took the shield or something.
well, I had inspiration. I could have freaking try to re-roll that fucking hit.
I didn't add it to my sheet. So that's I forgot all about it. James, can you repost those?
I
Hey,
don't know. You all picked them. I don't know if we actually wrote it anywhere. I'll have to
I
dig it
know.
up.
If you have the list, I know which one I picked. It
Oh
was
yeah, I'll
the
go find that then. You were gonna say, Matt?
hey, Mal. Uh,
Yes.
you can you have the ability to cast enlarge reduce, correct? It's a transmutation school.
I a what? No, I don't. But I do have the drink me potion.
I believe, out of character, I believe you can cast transmutation spells as an arcane trickster.
I
Nope.
so yeah, I don't think
No?
so, and I don't get to
Illusion
choose anything
enchantment.
other than yeah.
Well, okay, illusion enchantment, and you do get like one or two other picks of any kind, but those are
And,
only a couple.
yeah. Then the pick that I picked was my familiar.
So he would not be able to use a scroll that was transmutation, right?
No, not unless he can cast the spell himself.
Got it. Okay. I was hoping to save myself some concentration because I could do haste, I could do enlarge reduce, and I think haste is gonna trump that
haste
any
is
day.
much more useful. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I could actually. I think I could cast haste actually, but I also have other things I could concentrate on at the same time. So the question is, do you want to do that, or do you want to do a different tactic?
Well, let's talk about that. For me, as far as concentration, I'd say haste is probably my best bet.
Yep.
But I mean,
Well,
I
I
could do
suppose
bless as well. I could
we're
upcast
sending
bless
two
to hit
people
all of
into
us.
the. It's versus all of us, right? These
The
spells.
Yeah.
entire group. Yeah, the
Yeah.
entire group.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could bless all of us, upcast it.
I was planning on either basically on probably summoning my giant insects that the spiders I'd collected last night as my first line. Once those are all basically done with, then summoning my undead to basically pew pew as my general thing. So if you want me to do haste instead, I'm fine with that.
I'm thinking a bless on every one of us would probably be a help. And that's because I made sure to trade out that's a cleric spell. I made sure to trade that out because I used that scroll and when we rested last night. And I could cast it on what there's 6 of us, right? 5 of us? 1, 2, 3, 4,
6.
5, 6. Yeah, I could cast it on all 6 of us. And it would benefit all 6 of us to some degree, especially if Nasir's throwing um force bolts and or why am I drawing a blank on the fucking name? Eldritch Blast. Mal's trying to snipe. Rakir and Thorin obviously are going to benefit. So will Odo. I think that's probably the best use of my concentration, unless you guys think differently.
You know your spells better than we do.
I can also cast Bless. Or we can try Fairy Fire.
Yeah.
There's currently my concern is that these things are going to be huge bags of hit points. So we don't know what the petrification is going to be like. If these even can do that, we also don't know just how murderous they're going to be. So we don't really know how defensive we need to play.
They should be easy to hit being so big, so I mean, that should be less of a concern.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
Unless they have skin like stone.
That's true.
Well, Bless is going to give us a better chance to hit and a better
Very
chance
true.
to avoid whatever nasty petrification shit they might come down at us. So
A +1 is better than nothing anyway. A +1 to +4 is a good shot too.
And I don't want to
Right.
take away anyone's, concentration on stuff, but if I'm able to clearly, advantageously see everything, then I can just plunk for away from the back too.
Yeah, I think basically the whole idea is going to be to have basically Thorin and Rakir in the front, occupying these guys, while the rest of us sort of stay back and basically sort of focus fire on one of them to drop them. I can keep in mind, I can also take the risk of trying to, if these start close enough, I can try to hypnotic pattern them, and if I can get at least one of them in the hypnotic pattern, then we can basically just leave them there and then deal with the other guy, and take him down. without having both of them beating it bonus at the same time. That would be the power move, I think, but it's not guaranteed. Do we want to risk that, or do we want to hold concentration on something that will definitely benefit us?
I think it's worth. Why don't you try the one, and if that fails, you have a backup. Of course, I know that you've got limited
I got 2 tricks,
casting
so
power too.
Hypnotic Pattern's going to be one of them. I could literally just cast it twice until it sticks on one of them if we want to do it that way.
Well, and I've got the web too. If we need to hold them back, if for some reason we have to back out, and I can make them laugh.
Yeah, the web would be problematic because they well, actually, it basically depends on how many stones they have. If they have a lot of stones on hand, they can just continue to pelt us from range pretty hard.
Well, I could web the stones.
That would be funny.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that shield gave a +1 to AC.
So is this arena just a
Yes.
big open arena?
Well, that's the one I chose. I knew it had the charges. I didn't know. Let me pop that in
No,
there.
I love talking to myself with my mute on.
Yep.
Yeah, so yes, the arena is an open one. I'm looking for pictures of it now because I imagine in 5 hours Adam's going to go scout it with his wisp.
Yep, actually,
So
sooner than
I'm
that.
looking for him now.
You think we can pay the giants beforehand to throw the match?
If they're cognizant.
I mean,
I
The
get
guy
to,
made him seem to be insane. in a
yeah,
way.
I get the feeling that basically while we could normally reason with them, that these ones are probably basically specifically been held down here just so they go insane. So they could be. I don't think they're working for Rosnar. I think they're basically probably much of a victim of this as we are.
I see.
In fact, I hate to say it, but if we can try and take him down without killing him, I think that'd be the kind thing to do.
You know what? You're speaking my language.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, if it's us or them, it's us. So that's not a problem with me. But if we get the opportunity to not kill them, then I say why not take it?
Well, you can spare them. If we get them down on the ground, I can web them.
James, by the way, something that happened last session was we talked to that blacksmith, and he said we could basically just pick up whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was an item that I picked up that could be useful. Got a
Speaking of which,
I got
sorry.
a lance.
Oh, okay. You're going to ride with it. I guess you can still use it. It's set.
Yeah, I could still use it. One of
Mal's
these
gonna want to
days,
go to the blacksmith.
I'll get a horse.
James, this repulsion shield, a creature gains +1 bonus to armor class while wielding. So is that in addition to the 2 for a shield, or is it only 1, not 2?
I would imagine it's over the top. It's like a +1 shield.
That's what I thought. I was just making sure.
Armor, where to go? Shield.
That's the way I interpreted it with my artificer that I use, or that I play that uses it. But
Yeah, because that's what
reading
he
that,
is. He's an artificer. Artificer. I can't even say it.
Artificer?
artificer. I just want to make sure I haven't been using it wrong myself.
Repulsion shield. The creature gains +1 bonus to armor class when while wielding this shield. Oh, that is a good point. But you also have to have a shield to do it. So I can't see how it would reduce the shield's bonus to give you a +1. It's not like you had to take a real shield and turn it into this.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with on top.
Cool, cool. So just so I know that I have the plan down. Willem is going to use at least one of his tricks to try to take one guy right out of the fight. And if it doesn't work, then he's either going to do it again or speed up one of our fighters or something else nasty.
Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to cast Banishment twice, and if it sticks once, that's great. If it doesn't stick, I'll do it again because they still basically have 2 shots at basically taking one of these guys out of the fight for a minute for the most part.
Got it.
I can cast Sanctuary on you after you do that. protect you a little bit so you can maintain that concentration.
Do you think is that a concentration on your part?
Uh-huh.
Do you have something better to concentrate on?
That or fairy fire.
Ooh,
If it sticks.
yeah. If it sticks, that might be. See, the thing is, if we can get basically one guy out of the fight, like when I banish him, he'll just boop, just disappear. At that point, basically, the guy will have both basically Rakir and Thorin on him. So I think assuming that this guy's going to be crazy and not very tactical, I'm assuming that he's not going to be going after me. So I don't think we'll need to worry about being attacked directly.
If Rosnar's the vengeful sort, he might just rush down Orden the whole time.
Well, for Rosnar, no, Rosnar's not fighting. Only these two guys are.
No, I
And
mean, I don't know,
You
he
might tell
wants
him
to
to
get
kill
him.
little guy.
Yeah, he might just hold him in a room with pictures of Orden and just...
To be honest with you,
Brainwashing them, getting them.
I would love that because Orden is really difficult to hit. Although, I mean, a crit is a crit, of course. But aside from a crit, Orden can be. In fact, even with a crit, if he's got mirror image on.
Yeah.
So
Because
if they want to do that, we'll fucking do that. And you guys can
yeah, I
go
don't
beat
know.
him.
I don't know much about Rosnar, but in terms of his personality. But
No, you're not wrong. He very
I'm
well may.
assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming he either he has a way out of this, even if we win.
I don't.
Out of
I'm
character.
I'm not. I'm actually not sure of that because he got. Well, you know me. I kind of like to watch. He got a visit last night from a priest who told him to deal. You know, the same thing we got told by Deagle, and he didn't look too happy. In fact, he looked mighty afraid of what's happened here. So he may not have thought forward to having a way out. Maybe not.
He's
Either
out of
way,
his element. He has no
perhaps
authority here. Gordon
correct.
giggles.
And if nothing else, we can always find the bastard. He can't run from us.
Orden pats his bag of holding and says he sure can't. Um, just so I'm clear though, so Orden is going to upcast bless at the top, bless everybody in the party, so we've all got it. After that, I'm just gonna throw offensive spells. If he does make me a target, then I'm just gonna mirror image. If he makes me lose my concentration and is still coming at me, then I'll mirror image and shield of faith. Because I've
Yeah,
got a scroll for that too.
yeah. Nasir is going to attempt to basically make banish stick on one of them to get them out of the fight temporarily. But before that, he's actually going to start the fight. Start the fight with a insect cloud. For those of you that seen that, that's basically where the gigantic swarm of insects just follows me and it makes it impossible to see anything around me. So you don't. So I'm going to spread out from everyone else. So I'm not causing everyone else to be blinded by them. But that's my way of avoiding a attraction.
Okay, so I got some perspective shots up for you of the arena. One slightly of the head and one of the side.
Oh,
Those are
very cool.
sweet.
Yeah, it's more of that same guy. I got like 10 of these shots from him.
Where are they? Oh,
And Discord,
Oh,
sorry.
since we know we're fighting giants, do we have time to grab some equipment, or is
Yeah,
that
absolutely. You got 5 hours.
yeah. That's exactly why I bribed that dude. So we knew what we could get
Well,
ahead of time.
Yeah, something that we should pick up maybe would be a bunch of nets, because those things.
Like webs.
Yeah, but they're pretty big, though. Trying to get a 20
I
foot
mean, if
tall
they're
creature
just
inside of a net.
large, if they're large creatures, it still works
They're
on
not
them.
large. They're huge.
If they're huge, damn,
Yeah.
it has no effect.
What is the web? What is the actual? Sorry.
The net would make them restrained, which would give us advantage on them.
Okay.
And also they wouldn't be able to move around.
Does it have a size limitation?
Yeah, it has a size limit. If they're huge, it won't work on them.
Okay. So yeah. So oh well.
Hey,
That's pretty boss looking.
Yeah.
what are the
Like,
mechanics of? Sorry.
no, I've been saving this map here for like a year and a half. Waiting for
Nice.
some opportunity to use this thing.
What would the mechanics be of casting an arcane lock spell on a bag of holding?
Post,
I have no idea.
post it
We'll
up.
come back to you on that one.
I think it would work. It works on a chest of any size. I don't know why it wouldn't. A chest or an opening, I think it says.
So arcane chastity belt.
Well, no, what I'm thinking, here, I'll just post it. What I'm thinking is, or what Orden would be thinking is, just in case for some reason we do lose this, I still don't want anyone to have access to this soul cube. So why don't I just make it so nobody can, unless you spend some resources to do it.
Oh, I see. You're closing the bag. Gotcha.
Yep. Close
Yeah,
the
I'm
bag,
fine with it.
cast it on there with a word, obviously, and or I designate our party, and only our party is being able to open it.
Okay.
So, oh yeah.
Go right ahead.
So just so you know, who's going to be the one to carrying the ethereal thing?
The what?
All of you remember that, right? We got the big ethereal bomb. You know, drop it on the ground. Everything nearby goes to ethereal
Oh
plane.
yeah, that potion we got from Ziggle.
Yeah. So basically, I guess
Mal
we'll
had
just.
that.
Well, there's two.
Oh, that's right.
Mal
We're
has
gonna use
one.
that during this fight. I thought we were gonna save that for the
Oh,
dragon.
no. What? Well, if things go tits up here and it's going to be we die or we use that potion, then we're going to use a potion.
I mean,
right?
it's,
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that things got a pretty small radius. So if we're going to use it, we've got to make sure we kind of like grab everyone's bodies, get them all together, and then drop it, and then we could sort everything out after that. Just as a escape plan.
I like
yeah.
tits up as a safe word.
I,
Yeah, so
I could
just
definitely use that if need be. I might be able to climb up those pillars.
I'm sure you can walk up them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so just keep that in mind. That basically, if things go south, it might be good to kind of group up so we can all get out at the same time. Hopefully, without taking any of those giants with us, because that would be awkward. And yeah, if you do go up the pillars, just make sure you ain't making yourself a target for the rocks.
Yeah, I'll hide on the backside.
Yeah, not rocks, boulders even.
Well, and my guess is they could probably push those pillars over if they so chose, unless they're magically erect.
But look at all the ropes on them. I could be able to swing around.
Did you really have to say that after last night?
Of course I did.
That's where I got the idea.
Yeah, it looks like that's kind of a weird thing. All got a whole bunch of spiky pillars and this little spike pit in the middle. That's interesting.
You know, I've got 2 more vials of that troll blood. If you guys want to,
Yeah.
think we should use them.
Yes, I think we
What
should.
does the
Tor-
troll blood do?
Yep, Torin and Rakir, definitely.
I think it heals you and then it gives you. Does it heal you and
Regeneration.
give you regenerative or just regenerative?
Let me read it. It
Yeah, I
regenerates
can't find.
regenerates for 1 minute, 1d4 hit points
Per round, I think.
at ear. It says. Hold
Yeah,
on.
that's
At
nice
end
stuff.
of turn for 1 minute. Yep.
End of
Yeah.
turn. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that'll be great for helping them having them basically sort of like stay up, because unfortunately, like mechanically speaking, fighters are not the best at staying alive. They generally have good AC, but they don't have like the defensive tools that a lot of other classes have. So basically, they're once the stone giants beat through their hit points, they're pretty much done.
Yeah. So he hands them over both the one to each of you.
What's
Thank
it
you very
called?
much.
Troll
Vial
blood.
of
Troll's
troll
blood.
blood?
Yeah, that's from way back too.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
been
yeah.
Yep.
saving those for a rainy day.
We're
I think
busting out all the stops, James.
Yeah, I see that.
How much rapture weed would it take to affect a stone giant?
More than you got.
Yeah.
Damn.
I only have 1 vial.
I got my
Oh,
one
I've
vial
got
too.
I've
I have
got
one
one
vial.
vial as well.
We got 6 vials. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the
James,
giants probably
the
big, but that's funny.
what's your ruling on the arcane lock on the bag
Oh yeah,
of
you can
holding?
do it. That sounds perfectly fine by me.
I am gonna burn the arcane lock scroll I have then and do that before the
Okay.
fight.
I mean,
Also, I want to say this now before I forget. 20 minutes before the fight, I am going to, so at 11:40, I'm going to start casting an unseen servant, and after that, I'm immediately going to cast comprehend languages, both as rituals.
Mm.
Not
Okay.
that I might need neither, but it's nice to know that I have them both just in case. Is that kosher?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. So, do you guys want to do anything else? We're saying we're like maybe about 3 hours now.
Well,
You had to
someone,
wait a little while for this ironsmith to open up again, but
yeah,
Yeah,
that-
Mal would just like to go to the armory or them and ask them about the armor while he had it in his possession.
so yeah, as you come back, he eventually, after a little bit of pressure, cracks. And what was your question exactly?
Did it say anything to you while it was here? You notice anything weird about it?
He looks at you and, look, son, I'm really sorry this had to go this way. The worst
Huh?
part, or I guess maybe the best part, is it's not cursed, he says.
What is it? He smiles, kind of.
Well, as best as I got from Heather when she brought it in, is it has a mission, it has its own agenda. And it brought her here to bring it here. And I guess it came here to find you because there was 3 other people before who didn't even notice it. Did you know it could change?
What?
It can
You
change.
didn't
It can
tell.
look
He
like
looks
other
down
types of
at.
clothing.
He looks down at. You didn't tell me that. Really?
Yeah, you just have to tell it what you want it to look like. It can turn it into anything, except for different types of armor, but it could look like regular clothing, robes, dress, whatever.
Could you put on my pirate outfit?
All right, your outfit suddenly becomes a pirate outfit.
Oh, thank you. How about Alfred? Is that a good name?
There's nothing comes from it.
Jeez.
So, son, I'm really sorry if this doesn't work out for you, but on the positive side, I think this speaks greatly of you.
Yeah, me too. Hey, you know, I really would appreciate it if you would have mentioned that before, but I understand. You got something on your
You
hands you
just
want to get rid of.
sort of a sheepish shrug.
No,
Sorry,
no,
man.
don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay. We're off to fight some stone giants. Any tips?
Duck, dive, dodge, and dive. I don't know.
I'm
They
great for
throw
that.
things. They're really big. Don't let them get a hold of you.
Sounds like a good idea. All right.
You
Well,
just
if we find anything good out there, we'll bring it back, sell it to you. How's that sound?
if you do that, I'll make it up to you. I owe you one.
He
More than
smiles.
one. He sort of shrugs. Again, sorry, son.
Okay. You keep saying that. You're
Hey,
making me
James.
a little bit nervous.
Yes, sir.
Amendment. Sorry, it makes way more sense for me to cast a phantom steed as a ritual rather than an unseen servant.
Okay.
Did
So-
somebody else say they were going in mounted?
You're not going to ride piggyback on your unseen servant into battle?
I don't.
Uh,
I have no way of getting a mount, so.
oh, Orden,
Yes, sir.
you wouldn't happen to have Mind Sliver, would you?
Let me look. I think
I know
I
you.
sure do.
Oh my god, if we could combo that,
Okay.
Mind Sliver Banishment.
So I'm pretty sure since this is an arena battle, there's going to be some sort of go signal, right? Even if that's just the gate lifts up and these critters come barreling towards us. Would I be able to cast a spell prior to initiative? Is my question.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Yeah,
I
sure.
I'm assuming not like because Mind Sliver's on them. I presume you could precast stuff, but not like combat things.
Right, of course. Yeah, because that would just be the first round. But yeah, because the
Yeah.
gate, you'll see him coming up, and if you have like a defensive bless or something you want to put on, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I meant. So we can go into combat blessed, and then yeah, my first round I can sliver. You can do your and then go from there.
Yeah. We could basically like whoever goes first can basically do the ready action, I guess, and the second person can then call it. Like I'll precast mine, and then basically wait until you get yours chance, and you can cast yours and yell for me, and it'll trigger, or vice versa, if you want to do it that way.
Yep. Well, it says, the next, yeah. So it's as long as nobody hits it with any sort of saving throw ability after I mind sliver it, you should be good to go. Or I hear what you're saying. If you go first, you'll hold it to go after mine.
Yeah, Yeah, we either just basically just cast it and hope it works out, or we can actually try and coordinate to make sure that basically that the banishment is the one that's getting the ability.
We'll say the one on the left, and if that's not clear, we'll yell during combat. But
Yeah.
whichever critter is on our left will get it. That means you guys will all attack the one on the right.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but yeah, we'll just kind of communicate.
Right.
If they're not too wise, I could attempt to scare it.
Do I'd say whatever strategy you got to use to stay alive, use it.
Oh, do you guys want to go into the arena, or do you want to call it for the night for that? We won't go too far in there, but we can start it off there if you want, or if you have other things you want to do here in town and plan, that's cool too.
Well, so is the druid available?
Sure. There's a druid actually. He's not the same guy. The other one went home already, but there actually is another one as well.
Yeah,
You
just want to
find
talk.
out that there's 25 guys who patrol this town, and they're all adventurous. And
Okay.
they work in 3 shifts.
So I just want to go basically ask the knockers. So exactly what we can like if we win, that are we going to be like instantly rushed in to talk with Auntie, or are we going to have some time to basically recoup?
Being they're all evil adventurers, they smile knowingly on that one. Yeah, that's part of her plan. You're going to be walking right up to her. These guys don't let you get arrested at all.
All right, that's fine. At least
But
now we know.
no one says you have to fight Auntie. One of the guys, I wouldn't recommend that one.
Nope, that's not the plan. We just need to know if we got a little time to clean up and discharge of Rosnar.
No, Auntie will be there at the arena. She never misses a good fight.
Oh yeah, I just heard she doesn't always take time to talk to the victors. Only sometimes.
One of a smaller little guy at the back is, she's going to make a little exception for you all.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. That's what you think.
Rick, here you have a lance. You say correct?
Yes.
Or he's
picked it up
dragging his thing
myself.
over his shoulder everywhere. I don't
So-
Good
I'm
old
carrying
D&D.
it on my. I'm carrying it on my back. I'm sort
Yeah,
of
sure.
equipped like a.
Hey. I'll roll against it. I ain't gonna worry about it.
So here are my thoughts. This Phantom Steed, it's got a 100-foot speed. I'm summoning it because if those things are targeting me, I want to make sure I can stay out of their reach every round. But if they're not, it's kind of wasted on me because I'm not going to be up in the milieu anyway. So how about this? I'll summon it. You ride it. I'll hang on the back. And if it looks like they're coming for me, then you can either stay away from themselves or hop off, and I will. But if not, you're welcome to. I'll hop off, and you can use that for the combat.
That sounds wonderful.
Anybody see any mechanic issues with that? I think as long as because I think the Phantom Steed says me or an ally can ride it.
So I got a good look at the arena, or well, through the wisp. How big is the arena, like in diameter or radius?
James, you're muted if you're talking, buddy.
I am. Thank you. Just keep talking. Where's Adams? I'm just gonna drop you onto it so you can just look at it that way.
Yeah, but essentially, the size of the arena and what I can guess about the giant speed is pretty much the only way I can answer that. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, they might be able to get to us every round anyway, but either way, that to employ that lance, you need a mount, and so it's probably better served with you than
You
me.
don't need a mount technically, but it's more useful to have one.
Okay, so what is that?
Yes,
100
about 90 feet by 110 feet with with basically what looks like a 20-foot pit in the middle.
Okay.
So, and also there's a whole bunch of basically spiky pillars all over the place in one point. So you can kind of ride around the edges, I guess, to kind of basically try and play keep away. But it, depending on how fast these things are, if it was in the middle of the arena, it could probably reach you no matter where you were in the arena. If nothing else, or basically if nothing else, it could hurl a rock at you if they have those available.
Sure.
So you may.
I'm assuming stone giants aren't resistant to non-magical things.
The one I didn't forget to mention to you, I was going to mention to you now, Orden, is they are immune to charmed and frightened.
Well, that is good to know. Orden
Oh.
would definitely share that with the group too.
Oh,
Damn it.
that's
Yeah,
good.
sorry.
That's good to know because that means that that means hypnotic pattern does not work.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're right.
It's a charm.
Banishment it is.
However, banishment is not.
Right.
All right, that's good. Didn't waste spells then. Good info.
So the other cool part, Rick, here is that whenever I summon this thing, it's a giant boar instead of a
All right.
horse. Unless you have a request you'd like to make, I can make it look like whatever.
You're like that dwarf at the end of the Hobbit movies. They come riding in
I
on a
know
giant boar.
that's what I imagine. For
I
sure.
bet.
As boring as it may sound, I think I would prefer a horse.
I don't know.
All right, well, he'll summon you a horse, but it's got like cool flame pattern.
Right.
He's like, glory to Clangeddin and all that. I can't give you a regular horse, lad.
All right. So actually, ooh, yeah. Before we get there, actually, I'm going to go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna ask around, find out where they're keeping these stone giants at.
Oh, okay. Auntie has them somewhere out in the woods.
Oh,
Just
really?
so you know, I'm gonna buy some crossbow bolts too.
That he says that she has them under stasis or something out in the woods somewhere.
Oh, wow. How in the world are they gonna get them back? Get them back here safely? They're just gonna drag them back unconscious.
The silence is me trying to figure that out.
Okay.
He doesn't know. He believes that they walk, though. That they are driven like cattle.
Gotcha. Man, that must be a far walk. Who goes? I guess nobody goes out there to feed them then if they're kept sort of like magicked up.
Yeah, that's what he nods. Yeah, I don't know what they eat. It ain't people.
I guess Auntie will have to be the one to go get them then, huh?
But she has lots of things that work for her.
I see. Well then. All right, good to know. Thank you for that. Then the Wisp is going to basically be put on patrol, going around the edge, basically circling high up, encircling around the entire place, trying to find anything that's basically leaving and heading out into the woods. And if so, it's going to try and tail it over to tail it and see if it's going to where the giants are.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. See if you can catch the moment that all happens and be in, etc.
Okay. Let's see.
Since you don't even know what side of town it's going out.
Yep, his passive perception is 12. I'm just gonna roll it. I'm just gonna roll it raw.
I know, it's easier sometimes. I keep doing it too. Nice. Yeah, you catch them.
All right. So about what time is it when this happens?
About 11.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You catch Driegel heading on out that way.
Yeah, I guess they don't want to leave these things uncontrolled for too long. All right, so he goes out there. He I see the things in stasis.
Yes, the things. It's a male and a female. They're both to stop. The female is in the act. It looks like she's crying, but not motion now. They're just frozen. And the male has a look of screaming on his face. The creepy thing about the male, though, is you can see that there are petrified people all over it. That they're stuck on it with their arms sticking out and face sticking out. And he's got at least maybe a dozen people stuck all over him. They're all turned to stone.
The stone giant does?
Yeah.
The male.
Like he's wearing them?
Yeah. They became part of him.
Ah, I see.
Ew.
Okay. All right. All right, that's good to know. All right. So Driegel basically will do some kind of magic junk, and basically then they come back to their senses, or what?
Exactly. And then you see Driegel driving them with illusions.
Really? Huh. Do we want to fuck with this or not? Probably not. But actually, is Driegel talking to them at all?
No, not at all. And then once they wake up, the male just starts screaming constantly, and the female just starts crying, just sobbing in these booming giant tones because they're so huge.
All right, I'm gonna
And you
basically.
notice that anything that gets within arm's reach of them, they destroy. I mean, like a tree gets too close to them, they whack at it with a fist and break it into little pieces.
All right, then from basically well out of basically a range of basically any of their flailing arms from basically the middle of the air, you'll hear basically like a very nondescript human voice, a human female voice, say, "So, hello there. Would it, would either of you as loud as I can? Would any of you two happen to understand Common? Hello."
Driegel's looking around, looks up and around her. Ha! No use.
Oh, they don't understand Common, just Giant.
No use, because they can't hear nothing.
Oh, I see. Are they deaf or are they simply insane?
At the moment, death.
Oh, how unfortunate for them.
Fortunate for you. And you see the illusions start flaring up, and the giants start getting into a little bit of a jog as their little things are snapping at them, and illusionary terrain basically is happening around them.
Okay, so that gambit won't work, but at least now I know. All right.
What, if anything, do you share with the party about any of that?
When you see Nasir sort of like blinks and rubs his eyes, he says, "All right, so yeah, did a little bit of scouting there, as you might have guessed. So here's the deal. There's going to be two of them. One looks like they're one male and one female. The male's got all got a whole bunch of statues all over him, in him. So it looks like he's the one might have them petrification powers that you were talking about. So he's going to be the one I'm going to try and banish. All right?
I like it.
Yeah, so
All
we can
right.
beat down the female first, and then send it basically, if we have got enough time afterwards, if we're lucky, then we'll basically prepare a little trap as much as we can and take down the other male. But yeah, I get the feeling you don't want the big guy to touch you if you can help it.
Is there anything else about them we should know?
They look pretty good and insane. They're screaming and crying. I tried to talk to them in common, see if I could make some sense out of them, maybe cut a deal, or at least find out if they could be reasoned with. I don't think so. At least not now.
Shit, stone giants? You're lucky if they speak stone giant.
I mean,
I can speak stone giant.
just shrugs. I don't know. I mean, you never know. Maybe it would have worked. I couldn't really afford to cast a spell to talk to them in their own language. Not that it would have helped since they supposedly they were deafened.
Wait, there they are?
That's what Deagle said. He was deafened for them. Maybe he's controlling them with illusions to keep them on the right path. So maybe they
Well,
won't be deaf by the time you get to us.
this could help us then, because if we can blind them somehow, well then they'll have no senses to try and find us.
I wouldn't bet on that. I think simply that that Deagle was using illusion magic, including deafening them to kind of keep them controllable, because they were just bashing and killing everything. Like he wasn't even leading them; he was just using magic to kind of goad them on.
I
You know,
see.
it poke a sheep to get it moving in the right direction. Those things were not controllable in the
Whether or
least.
not they can see
What
won't
was
really
that?
help us. I said whether or not they can see won't help us.
Yeah, they're seeing what Deagle want them to see. So I'm sure once they get into the arena, it's pretty much game on. They're just going to basically go around bashing everything, and we're going to be first on the list.
If they bash everything, maybe we could use. You said there were pillars in this arena. Perhaps we could use them to.
Oh yeah, actually, that's actually a good point. There's actually if these things are that big, there's a whole bunch of pillars. If we could kind of basically go get near to some of them, there's basically groups of like spiky pillars on two sides of the arena. If we could get near them, that might be a good way to keep them from hitting us. I don't know, or they might just bash down the pillars and then pick them up and hit us with them. Either or.
Well, we have to take whatever advantages we can get.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, I think I'm going to stop by the poisoners in a moment.
duh. I mean, that's a good idea. I don't know how strong a poison you can get here, but you know what? Considering this place, you could probably get a pretty good one, I'd bet.
I'm looking for a poison to weaken, not to kill them. As you said, the
You're gonna head on down to the poisoner.
yeah.
Okay, you find the poisoner. The poisoner is not human. The poisoner is a strange crow-looking man
Oh God.
who who's sitting there at his little table there. The place is like empty. There's nothing really around it except for a chest on the floor and a crystal orb of some sort on the desk, and the little guy's just sitting there picking at his beak as you come walking in.
Am I in the building currently?
If you want to be.
No, I tried to walk over there. That's
Oh,
what I mean.
yeah, no, you can. I saw you moving around. Or you just move yourself back onto that map so you can at least see the floor Mo. I don't have
Mhm.
anything on him yet, though.
Okay.
Mal will go
Oh,
with him,
yes.
Okay,
although I can't
Um.
see anything.
you still
Hello.
can.
No.
I thought I dragged you back on the map. Well, let's just go to the poisoner and I'll just drag you onto that one.
Okay.
I think I'm in a house instead of the poisoner's place.
The poisoners is the one with a hole in the roof, I believe. I have to go back to the overhead map. Doesn't really matter too much. Oh, put you on the right layer, I might hope.
Ah, there we go.
Okay, so yes, the crow-looking guy is just there behind at his counter. Looks as, oh, you're the new people in town. Welcome, welcome. Come, come.
Hello.
What can a poor alchemist do for you?
I hear that you specialize in poisons.
That's a crude word for the glorious things that I could do with fluids. But yeah, I guess you could say that.
I mean no disrespect. Um,
None taken. I don't imagine a mind of yours can really fully grasp the power and control that I have over this world.
Oh, we like fluids too.
He smiles. I had a feeling you
yes,
might.
yes. These types of things are not my specialty.
No, I doubt. You probably can't even spell what I can make. So, what is it you need?
Canmake.
I don't think he meant. I believe that was a rhetorical question or statement.
He says, "No, you're doing great."
Anyways,
So the crow guy is sort of stroking his beak in a sort of a creepy type of manner. Uh, what is it that we can do for you then?
I'm looking for a liquid that will disable a large creature temporarily. Does not need to be permanent.
And
It does not
once
need
it's
to kill him.
disabled, how disabled? Is this for like surgery?
Hmm. It's not for any particular purpose. You
Oh,
could say it's on a
so
whim.
you don't need to cut at it once he's unconscious. Okay.
Well,
Yes.
if we have to do some surgery, that wouldn't be a bad thing either. Just make them, I don't know, so they can't really move, or make them less tough.
Now, would you say large? How large are you speaking of?
Um, it's about, let's overshoot it a little bit, 25 feet tall.
Oh, glorious. Okay. Well, I think I have something for you then. And he goes digging around in that chest of his down the floor. Yes. Oh, what? You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to put this on him, though. And
What is the application? Like a rub or a... Sort of.
He smiles and comes up. He picks up. Here. He claps you on the back. You just have to slap him on the back.
Mal
And
looks. Is there anything on his back?
no.
Okay.
Oh God.
And he hands you this little. It's like a piece of fabric that's been obviously dosed in something. And he takes it and he wraps it up inside of like a leather piece of oil skin and covers it up again. Unwrap this and just slap it on him. You'll have to get
Wow.
close.
Hey, Brick, here, you've got gloves, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, don't eat it.
What would
What
happen if I
happens?
ate it?
It would probably kill you, you stupid fool.
Well, I'm not in the business of eating many rags.
I just wanted to point that out. I never know about you big types.
I
So,
appreciate the caution.
yes,
How
let's.
much for this?
Oh, no, just take it.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
If it works, tell them where you got it. If it
yeah.
doesn't, you won't be able to. He mutters as he sort of goes back to his doing.
Well, I suppose this is the best we've got. Thank you.
He says, "Hey, wait, 1 second. You don't have anything that would turn like stone skin back to normal, right?"
Oh, to unpetrify.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, I think we might have something like that. A look of recognition goes across. You're fighting the giants.
You're smart.
What?
I'll be there.
You're getting free advertisement.
This is exciting. I'm looking for
Yes.
the.
Oh, yes. I have a question about the town. Would you mind, um, me asking?
Sure. If someone else look up poison prices, or we'll dig between adventures. We're almost out of time anyway. I'll look between.
Mm.
Uh, what do you want to know about this town?
There's a slave market
Wait,
here. When does
wait.
that? Oh.
Do you know a town of this size? I could kill off in a single night. Yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
How would you do that?
The ale. Don't drink the ale.
Hmm.
Anyways, you were saying.
Oh, I was saying the slave market. When does that happen?
Oh, that should be. He counts on these strange little claw fingers of his. 4 days.
All right. Thank you. Hmm.
Okay, so it's going to take several doses. I guess we'll look up the book and stuff, but I'll look up between. But thank you for that. I will look up. Cause I imagine a giant might take more doses than a little one, but I don't know if the game has rules for that, so we'll look it up. Anything else?
Nope, just the stone skin stuff, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's just a regular potion. Just find it in the book. But yeah, he can sell you that. The price is double the price, though. Sadly.
Okay.
Kinku. That's what these guys are.
Yeah.
Oh, are they? Wow,
This
He's
guy
a
in front of
Kinku.
you.
he's
He
really
can't
well.
speak. He can
Oh, he
only
can't
mimic
speak.
the stuff that he's heard.
Yeah,
Oh, well then he's not a
He can,
Kinku. We'll have to come up with something else.
yeah, that's
he
it.
can
He's
speak in
really
a
well
fashion.
spoken.
He's a black Aarakocra.
Raven Arakocra. Yeah, they can repeat what they've heard, which can be quite extensive, but it still sounds usually weird.
That would be annoying. I don't want to do that.
Well, and it would sound, the words would sound in whatever voice they heard it from. So the voices would change as it goes through.
Yep.
Potentially, unless they heard it all from the same source.
Voices, accents, everything.
You know what? Actually, we're just going to let him. He's going to be one of those, and we'll just say that he has been modified, and we'll find a way to make that happen later.
You could say he grew up in a university, thus he's heard literally like almost any damn phrase that you could think of.
Yeah, he's just going to talk like a ransom letter, little
Yeah,
pieces.
basically. That's why there's no Kenku in my world. I really don't want to have to try an NPC one.
That one. Okay, well, look at do that.
Oh,
That'll be fun.
I played as one once, and I just decided instead of doing that, I would talk exclusively in writing.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, so there we know. Now we know. I think I should have asked for that. I've never used one before. So the Kenku then, that whole conversation was in 3 different people's voices, we'll say.
Nice.
And we'll modify
awesome.
from there going forward.
I would love to play a Kenku, but I just haven't had the balls yet because that would be a really tough one to role play unless you, like you say, you wrote everything down.
You have to be really good at changing accents on the fly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the crow looks at you with a little bit of a raised eyebrow of sorts. Is there more?
Oh no, that's quite it. I found this place to be quite lovely, unless there's something you'd like to show off.
You see an uneasy look roll over his eyes. It sort of looks a little bit of joy, and you're getting a feeling that maybe that wasn't something you needed to see. Oh, we can show you many things. Please stay. Here, drink this.
I'm
I would
quite
not do that.
I'm quite fine.
Oh, and you hear this sort of an old grandmotherly voice come out of him. Won't you stay for lunch then, Sonny?
Unfortunately, I really
I have
must be.
pie.
Unfortunately, I must be getting ready to go get those giants. So yes.
Oh, what a shame. As you head out. All right.
Those kids told me never drink anything in the poisoner's house.
Val, anything else, or are you staying with the poisoner for lunch?
No. He's
No?
going to. He'll slowly back out with if he gets anything. I don't. Yeah, I'm finding some interesting things on that.
So if there's anything interesting in the party loot log that you think would be beneficial to a strategy of not dying,
I'm a big fan of that. I
I've
almost got one of you
returned.
tonight, anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, Thorin.
That's all right. You tried.
I tried, man. Damn close too.
And
Fuckers.
Pretend got another one.
Yes, I did.
Well,
Yeah, I thought you got off as well.
That one was a lot more fun.
I've returned with a potentially great item that no one should eat. The poisoner told me to slap it on the giant.
are you going to try that?
Yes.
Basically, a large Solon pause pad. I don't know if anybody knows what those are, but
Yeah.
big
All right,
medical
then.
pad.
That's your hide, so you know best how to risk it. I hope it works out for you.
I hope so too.
Just buy a couple pairs of gloves.
You know what?
So the only thing I
Think
could find would be fresh feathers of a cockatrice or the bile from a basilisk as a removal of petrification. Not
Oh, there's
really
no
my whole
potion
lot.
for that?
I couldn't find anything.
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing raw. I mean, well, is there like a? Is there? Well, I think greater restoration does
Greater
that.
Restoration and Wish, I think the only
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah. So is there any potions of greater restoration or potions that do something like greater restoration?
Let's find it. I'll find something for you. Okay.
Cool.
If it's
All right,
on
anything
par
else?
with Greater Restoration, it's going to be really expensive. Especially if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
double.
we'll look for something smaller than that.
So you're gonna type and double that. Double really expensive. So
So we'll see. I'll find out. If it's too much, we'll retro it out. All right. Well, let me get you onto the map, and we'll leave it there because we're at our 8:30ish at least, and we'll share on the map so you can at least leave it there so you can do some strategy thinking on there. Anything else anybody wanted to do? Not that you can't write it back in because we're not going to get into the fight tonight.
not that I
I
can think
think
of.
of.
I basically done most of the scouting for everyone, so at least we know what we're getting into. I think we have a pretty solid plan essentially. So try and basically banish the one who can stone us. Take down the other one, If that doesn't work, then basically, I guess, just try and basically kill the stone one as quick as possible if we're forced to fight both of them at the same time before it can petrify us all.
Hey, Orden,
Yo,
are those things immune to regular weapons?
I don't believe so.
Not the giants, no.
I was gonna say because that's
You
the
made a
way
good roll. Yeah.
that's the way James put it. He said you don't think that they're immune to anything.
All right.
And then I found that there was one piece that, because I was looking at the wrong one. But yes, they were immune to the charm and frighten.
Right, right.
Would you put me on the?
Yeah, I'm gonna
token
drop a
roll?
basic token on here now.
Oh, cool.
Okay, all right. And there's Mel,
Nice.
Orden, Odo, Rick here. We'll put Thorin up front, and I doubt Nasir is up at front there.
What?
Why not?
That's exactly where he would be.
Yeah, alrighty.
He'd be in front of me, all right?
And in Discord is the pictures at the front of this place. You hear it before you get to it. There's a sound of lots of people. It sounds like a football game going on, as you can hear cheers and roars and the sound of fighting somewhere off in the distance. As you get to the area, then people come wandering on up, and the gate gets opened up in front of you. You can see the inside of this place at that point as you come walking up to it, and they're dragging a couple of bodies out of the place out to actually, they're dragging them out the backside the other direction.
All right, Nasir's going to get all the way in the back.
Right.
James, what are
Oh,
these
no.
little star-shaped pointy line things
What are you looking at, I wonder?
in between the columns?
Okay,
Spikes.
so what we're looking at here, so there are columns with big O spikes on them in every which way. There's lines and wires going from the ground up to top of them. So you could, if anyone could walk on wires, they could run all over this damn place. Plus, the giants might have a little problem getting through some of those cords. What other star things are you seeing?
No, that's I guess the lines. It was it.
Oh, because of the shadows of all the wires going everywhere, it makes it even more confusing.
Alright, hey Orden, should we ride in on the horse?
Yes, absolutely. I'll hop on the back and hold on to the back of your armor and actually stand on its rump.
Yeah,
Well, if I was sitting behind you, I wouldn't see shit. I just look like you brought your kid to the battle.
Willem says,
Maybe we should get a sidecar.
Yeah, there's a new picture on Discord that might help. That one shows it straight on from inside now that you guys are there.
Yeah, I see the lines now. Yep. Yeah, how are the giants gonna move around in there?
I don't know if those cords will stop them.
Fair.
Yeah, Willem says, all right, I guess it's time to use this. And you see, he sort of like concentrates for a moment. Two gigantic, basically like black crow's wings, like sprout from underneath his robes and fan out around him. It's all right, good. That works the way I expected. And now, you see, he holds up the staff, and a gigantic swarm of buzzing insects, just pours out of the staff. Before you know it, the entire area around him is just basically one big mass of boiling insects in a huge cloud that you can't, that only Mal can see through. Don't come in here. They taste terrible.
Mal smiles and gives you the thumbs up. Stares right at you.
Yep, that's why I wanted you to have that helmet there, buddy.
Make quite the entrance with us mounted and the dragon board, and then the swarm of insects.
I feel like one
Odo probably flying
person
in.
is much more showy than the others.
Oh, hold on.
So Mal, as you're there, are you holding on? Are you going away?
No, I'm just putting on
Okay.
my outfit.
And then Mal, as you're switching your outfit and getting ready for this, as you step in here, you hear these little voices in your head, and there's giants, and various ones. 3 or 4 of them all start speaking. This will be a great one. If he survives this, is he the one? I think he's the one.
I am the one, and we are going to survive. This is going to be awesome.
He can hear us. Shut up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
And there's just silence again. Rappy's like, you'll be remembered if you all get through this one.
tales to tell your grand clothes.
Link says,
Indeed. He starts
Hey,
chuckling.
hey Mal,
What?
tuck
Huh?
that crazy in a little bit, all right?
Oh, sorry. They're
And
saying
speaking
hi.
of crazy, you can hear crazy coming from off in the distance. You hear screaming coming. It sounds like a woman wailing on top of her lungs, just sobbing, and some other person just screaming on top in anger, just yelling, and the cracking of trees. And there's a bit of a thunder to the ground as you can feel it, and feel the vibration in the ground as it keeps coming at you. It's getting louder and closer. And the crowd starts getting real quiet. And they're sort of murmuring and quiet, listening.
Man, if she's too sad, I might have a hard time with this.
That you hear Nasir yell out. That's the woman.
Well, we don't plan on killing them, Mal. Remember,
That's right.
I brought.
Then this
I
year's gonna
brought.
bring him back from the dead.
No, not from. We shouldn't be. They shouldn't be dying.
Again,
He'll spare him.
if yeah, if we got time, save them. But if they're still killing us, don't worry about it. Just get them down, and we'll do our best.
Obviously.
We can think of it like we're putting him out of their misery. She's in misery. Oh, that's good. Okay.
Gordon
No,
says, well,
don't start justifying their deaths before we need to.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
according to the plan, I'm not going to get
It's
any
loud.
fireballs off. So I think I can probably try my
What?
best not to kill him.
I mean, they're gonna be pretty tough. So a few fireballs to soften them up wouldn't be bad.
According to the plan, I wouldn't have that option until the second round of combat at the earliest, and by then our melee fighters are already going to be engaged.
Yeah, but fireball's huge. Just shoot it up right into the air.
He'll tell the melee fighters, try to leave me a back door. I know you like to surround them, but try to leave me a little room for area of effect.
I got you.
Well, I'll be with you most of the time, hopefully, if this plan works.
I want to play for the rest of the night now.
Be a good start for the new year, though.
It is. It'll be a good one.
Yep.
So, I actually, the funny thing is, this entire scene, everything about the dragon, everything was built for this one battle, and everything else came around it. Because I just found this map, and everything just came together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I could do the same thing. Sometimes you get a good map, and you're like, "Ooh, I've got to use that."
Yeah, and then you build a whole story around it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, it has been fun. We will get together. What is it? Just in the new year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 6th. So we're back together on the 6th. We will fight two giant screaming mad storm giants. Which makes it interesting is they are tethered together by 40 feet of rope.
Well,
I really
one
hope
of them's gonna be banished.
I really hope Storm Giant was a slip of the tongue there.
Oh, did I
James.
say storm?
Yeah.
Would that be cool?
No, it would not be cool at all.
I mean, I'll be looking
And
forward to my
playing
next
the part
character.
of stone giants are some storm giants.
We couldn't find any stone giants, so we
So
figured
brought
these
these
would-
storm ones.
If
It's
they're
close enough.
if they're tied together with rope, that ain't gonna last long. It'd have to be like anchor chain.
Yeah, something special.
We were mistaken. They were stoned giants of the storm giant
Exactly.
variety.
Stoned
Storm giants.
Dude, look at the pit.
Oh my god, Rosnar, that's how we got him. He just gave him a bunch of drugs.
That's where all the rapture weed went.
That's right.
We could
That's why
reason with
Rosnar's
him.
coming after us. It's not even the Soul Cube, since we've got the only remaining
Rapture weed in the county, the coast.
If I don't appease these fuckers, they're gonna kill everybody.
Oh no, not those.
All right. Well, that's fun. I'm going to turn off our recording here.
Oh, that was awesome, man.